Hey, this is Nolan North, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, and you're listening to Raw Dogs. And why wouldn't you be? It's the best. Sic Parvis Magnum.
Interview with the Vampire. Very sexy. Super gay. Love it.
Love it.
What is that show? It was a Midnight Club. The gay older orderly. He's trying to say it's okay to be homosexual to one of the kids. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you gotta watch Interview with the Vampire, man. It'll change the way you think.
Well, this one is overtly gay.
But today's not about vampires.
Truly. It's about things in close relation, maybe the horror genre.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Brad. Welcome to Raw Dogs. We're part of the Tokyo Beat Podcast Network. Who else is here?
I'm Dylan, and I'm here to eradicate some evil from the residents.
Ooh. It's like the game.
Dude, yeah, it's the game.
That's pretty good. Who else we got?
My name's Tyler, and I'm drinking coffee and beer at the same time because I'm sleepy.
Uppers and downers.
My heart is like, what is going on?
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Although that one's really good, the Starbucks vanilla.
Yeah, a double shot.
Oh my God, yeah.
I've been trying to move away from energy drinks.
Energy drinks are the worst for
And
you.
I did not have time to make coffee this morning, and now Brad is handing me, I have 3 drinks currently.
Whoa.
We're doing it. I just poured a beer for us to enjoy. It's a fall spring cold IPA from Central Waters, featuring Azaka, Cashmere, and El Dorado hops. I picked this up the other day when I went to Central Waters with my boss, and it was fucking awesome.
Awesome. Very cool.
Great beers. But today, we are here to discuss a very big video game. Mm-hmm. It's called Resident Evil 4.
Yes, and it's not the one you're thinking of.
Well, we have talked a lot about Resident Evil on this
yes,
podcast, have we not? Because we've done, I believe, 3 episodes. We did a Village episode completely.
Village was special, and then it was 2 episodes of Wesker lore, or 1.
Yeah, something like
I see.
that.
I see 1.
Yeah, I don't really remember. It was only 1, wasn't it?
We did 2 episodes, but one of them was just we did a series episode, and then we did the Albert Wesker lore episode.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We love Resident Evil here. It's a franchise that's had a lot of
ups and downs.
And transitions and changes.
Yeah.
I mean, Resident Evil 4, the original version, that one came out back in 2005 for the GameCube. I never played it. I missed the boat, and then I tried to play it after the fact, and those controls were not conducive to modern play styles. But people that have played it, it's 10 out of 10, top-notch, a game.
It is, for the time especially, it was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was incredible.
You had never seen anything that looked like that or played like that.
Yeah, it was my first Resident Evil game that I actively wanted to play outside of 1. Mm-hmm. I got 1 through somebody. I don't even know how I got my hands on 1 for the PlayStation 1. But I never really played it as a kid because A, it scared me, and B, I was like, I don't get it. I was just too young. And then by the time I got a PlayStation 2, Resident Evil 4 came out, and I was like, yeah, this is my jam.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 was a transition because 1 through 3 was very much kind of one style of gameplay. The original one, yes, January 11th, 2005 for the GameCube exclusive, one of the GameCube 5.
I got it day one.
Absolutely only on GameCube until 10 months later when it landed on the PlayStation 2. It came to Windows and Wii in 2007. There's an iOS port in 2009.
My biggest regret is that at one point I was choosing between an action figure, a really nice action figure, which broke eventually, or the chainsaw GameCube controller.
You blew it.
I blew it so hard. Do you know how much money those are worth now?
200?
Way more.
500?
I don't
Probably.
know.
Something like that.
I've seen different prices on eBay. I could not give you a basic price.
I can't imagine they're great to play with necessarily, but they must be fun to
I
hold.
don't care. It looks fun.
Yeah.
I would just play like that.
Yeah.
If I could just wield the chainsaw.
Yeah.
And then my friends, quote unquote friends, would call me Chainsaw. That's a nickname.
That is not a bad nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have worse nicknames.
I could have a lot worse
Yeah.
nicknames.
Chainsaw's not bad at all.
Some of the names the kids called me. Yeah.
The Tyrant. Nemesis.
Mostly gay slurs, but
Gotta love kids. It came to the Zebo in 2009. I don't even know what the fuck the Zebo is.
I think it's pronounced zebra.
I think it's like a Spanish console or a South American like weird console.
Oh, great.
PS3 360 September 2011, Android 2013, PS4 Xbone August 2016, Switch May 2019, and Oculus Quest 2. They got a VR port in October 2021
Wii version is the best one.
because of the changed shooting scheme. Correct?
Yeah. Motion control. And it actually works because all it is a pointer.
Yeah.
It rules. Trigger, actual trigger, vibration.
I tried right before you got here. We were sitting on the couch, and I just booted up Resident Evil 4 on the Xbox, the original version. I couldn't fucking shoot for shit. I can't. You can't run. You can't move, and if you're used to it, if you really hunkered down, you could probably get it.
Oh, yeah. I used to do just straight up all headshots. I've done runs like that.
So Resident Evil 4, we're going to get to the remake. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the OG. 4 proposed versions for this game were discarded. The first one was deemed too great of a departure, and it was spun off, became Devil May Cry series. There was one called the Fog version with Leon infiltrating Umbrella Castle. The castle is there. Hookman version takes place in a haunted building, and Leon was infected and gained powers. The infection was in that one. Hallucination version has Leon infiltrating the castle of Spencer, accompanied by a bioorganic weapon dog, which sounds like a cool partner,
That's actually all right.
and a young female partner. So we see kind of the story taking place. But series creator Shinji Mikami took over directorial duties for the final version, and he said he wanted a change in gameplay. So they redirected it from that same kind of super slow horror, and it's action. Resident Evil 4, the original version, is very much an action game and less focused on horror.
Yeah.
You get scared of the action, but I don't get. It's not like jump scares and moody and stuff.
I was
much.
I was 15 at the time, and it was actually legitimately pretty terrifying.
There was always a level of tension.
Especially the first chapter.
Because you didn't know when it was going to scare you, if it was going to. And then the chainsaw guys came, and you found out that that's what's scary, is those motherfuckers.
Yeah. Some of the bosses, too.
I looked at some of the comparisons for the original enemy designs compared to the new ones, and some of them look kind of wonky.
They are definitely of their era, though. They're kind of early. They're not early video game body horror, but it's when graphics were getting good enough to make something look just grotesque enough to be believable.
You could understand, that's someone's spine and
Right.
the organs popping out of their ears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that
Out of
type
their
of body
ears.
horror was actually pretty effective at the time. I found myself terrified several times. Like the first time you thought you killed an enemy, and then it would pop up out of them,
Yeah.
with a giant razor on a tentacle.
That scared the shit out of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Received acclaim. This fucking
Knocked it
shattered
out of the park.
expectations. The third person over the shooter aspect of the original, people have cited it as the first big example, the one that kind of broke the mold and everybody followed afterwards. I didn't try and do a lot of research to verify, but I've seen it on enough big YouTubers and people cited that it must
So-
be the first one that was a big popularizer.
It
of
was. this is the first example of what I would call the tight over the shoulder that I can possibly remember. And I played a lot of games back then, didn't have anything else to do. But yeah, I mean, it was tight. Like there wasn't a lot of view because even in like Gears of War, say, which came about months later.
A couple years later,
couple years later.
Because yeah,
2006 maybe.
Because 360 was what, 07, 06?
Yep.
06, something like that. And that has it's close to more like your main character, but it's a little pulled away so that you can see stuff in your periphery. And I think it was actually a good choice in this game to kind of close it up, give you more of Leon to kind of make you feel more centered on the character himself.
Yeah. A little more claustrophobic too.
Yeah.
Received acclaim. It's still on people's best games ever lists. Some of the version differences: the PS2 version received a bonus side story called Separate Ways, where you play as Ada Wong. The Wii edition added updated controls, and the VR version was heavily criticized by fans due to the censoring of some content. Now, this is ding-dongs that are complaining because they removed the ability to like look up Ashley's skirt. And some of the very problematic like comments on her breasts by characters.
A 16-year-old girl?
No, she's 20.
Oh, she is 20.
She's 20. She's a college student, but it's just the demeaning talk about women and a few of that stuff. They took it out and people are like, you're changing the story.
What do you mean I can't be a toxic asshole?
Dude, I totally would say that she has great ballistics. That was what Louis says to her.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I see that she has some ballistics as well. And then they pan to her boobs in the game. I'm like, I can see that being not great.
Yeah.
They're mimicking like it being campy. I mean, this is also, unfortunately, them inserting more Japanese style fan service into things.
Yeah.
In American stuff, they're more overt with it, I guess. They use camera angles to show you like Miranda's butt in Mass Effect.
God, the camera just drops down to below her butt and it's like an upshot at Shepard.
I mean, it's a great butt. Maybe one of the best video game butts I've ever seen. But
that's a whole nother topic for another Raw Dogs.
Are we going to do best video game butts?
I got my next topic for the Dogcast.
Actually, that might work. That's
best
funny.
Video game butts.
We have to include men.
It might be Patreon exclusive, but I am down.
Okay.
I'm totally down for this. Best butts in gaming. And then we'd have the special worst butts in gaming too.
Oh yeah. Worst butts. Bo Right
Show. That's a dirty butt.
Yeah,
that dude does not wash.
That butt, it's got a lot of shard on it, and we know it. Just
nasty beer farts.
Yes.
Yeah. So the remake.
Oh, did you say what beer we had, Brad?
Yes, this is a cold IPA called False Spring from Central Waters. And
it is delectable.
Nice. That is nice.
It's a nice first beer for the day.
That is also that's like a delightful kind of easy drinker. I could, have one an hour throughout the day.
Yeah.
And just be like, all right, time for bed.
A nice sipper.
Yeah.
I did not sip on Friday. So my lovely wife was in New Orleans for a bachelorette party. First I went out with my boss at like 1 p.m. because I just could not work. And we had like 4 or 5 beers at Central Waters. I came home and I started Resident Evil 4 Remake and I drank a lot that night.
And you were just like, where are you, Ashley? Get over here, Ashley. Where'd you go now, you little...
Saturday, I didn't drink anything, and I just beat the game. And then yesterday, I had to pick up at the airport at like midnight, so I haven't drank a lot this weekend besides all of it in an 8-hour period.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can ruin you.
That's just called efficiency.
So Resident Evil 4, after the OG, 5 and 6 come out. They start drifting into more action and extreme, over the top. They lose the horror completely.
They also lean more into camp.
Yes, which I like. I do like my Resident Evil to have some campy, bad jokes. There's a lot of bad jokes in the original RE4.
Oh yeah, it's full of it. I used to think it was so badass, but after playing it again, I'm like, all right, dude, Leon, you're actually kind of lame.
You're being kind of a crybaby right now.
When Ramon says, I send my right hand after you, Leon, he's like, you can take your hand off. It's like,
yeah. He
it's in his head. It sounded really cool.
I mean, writing wasn't very good in video games at that time, though. Anyway, unless it was all mostly text based, like an RPG or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They had to match mouth movements, so they chose lines based off of that.
Yeah.
It's like Advent Children. It's like, how did they write that? Dilly dally, shilly shally. Dilly dally, shilly shally.
Somebody could not figure it out, and they phoned it in hard that day.
Yeah.
Like, just Mina Savari, just read Dilly Dally, Shilly Shally. It'll be
That wasn't Mina Savari.
She was Aerith.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But doesn't Tifa say it a lot, too?
They both say it, you're right. And Tifa was Rachel Lee Cook.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Damn.
Steve Burton was Cloud. I do not remember these stupid things.
You shouldn't.
What is the year right now? I don't know what year it is, but
Sometimes I'm still 15. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm late for class. And I'm like, no, I just have to go to work.
In my brain, it's still 2018. For whatever reason, I feel like 2018 was like a year ago.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Sometimes I feel that way, too.
Yeah. It's like, I think at a certain point, everybody's brain just is like, all right, I can stop keeping track of time now.
it's
Yeah,
not. It won't make you happier knowing what day it is.
No.
It never makes me happy.
It'll make you sad.
Unless I know that I don't have to work the next day.
And then you're happy.
Yeah.
So Resident Evil 6 was like kind of what a lot of people consider a low point. It is still beloved by many people for different reasons.
It's honestly not as bad of a game as people play it up to be.
Yeah.
I have played it. It's just disjointed. It's trying to be really epic. It's going for too much all at the same time. I don't normally like video games where they split you up between characters.
Yeah.
And then you just play sections as them. A great example of something of that working is Live Alive. And I think that works perfectly because you get these little snippets and they all play differently, but they still function essentially like JRPGs.
Yeah.
And then they all culminate together and then you get to use them all together.
Which is what they wanted to happen with RE6 a little bit, but it was just
didn't work.
super fragmented.
Yeah.
I was just happy that Leon was back.
Yeah. He kills the zombie president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley's father?
Yeah, he does. He kills her.
Cool.
Kills him.
6 was really epic. They definitely went with like,
Boulder punching.
yes.
There's also a part where you get superpowers.
It's like they saw what Fast and the Furious was doing. You know how the first one's about family and then they're like throwing cars off of skyscrapers into helicopters and shit. They're like, why don't we do that?
That's a really good analogy. Could you imagine if Fast and the Furious made Fast and the Furious Biohazard or whatever? Like they did the 7 one where just like, all right, it's just about two guys just street racing and it's super grounded.
I think
Yeah.
there was this
cool.
I think there's this thing at the time too because graphics were accelerating at such a high pace for 3D graphics around this time that escalation was really important. Like you had to escalate whatever you were doing. You had to show the biggest thing because
If it
that
ain't
was
bigger.
what exactly.
And that was the time period where it's like, all right, you know that theme song? The next one we're just gonna have it with electric guitar the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just gotta be bigger. And then a couple years later, they're like, wait, piano. We're gonna bring it back down. And
Yeah.
have-
Last of Us, it was like Spanish guitar. No pick, just pluck those strings.
yeah. That's
Make
how
it
you.
sad and
That's how you
somber.
know that they're bringing it down.
That's how you know you've matured as a man.
When you put down your electric guitar and pick up a Spanish guitar.
Yeah, when you go from the Death Note opening anime song to the whatever the fuck they were playing at in the menu for The Last of Us, that's called maturity. That's called growth. But the Death Note opening theme song goes fucking hard.
It does.
I haven't-
So does the Attack on Titan one.
Yeah, it does. They're so good.
Some of them.
Those two.
The opening to Demon Slayer is really good too.
Yeah.
You should check that out.
Speaking of though, maturing and like redirecting what people were like expectations. Resident Evil 7 was a major turning point for the franchise,
A good turning point.
and it was transitioned to VR during development. That was just not something that was even considered at first, which is just amazing that they stuck both landings so hard for that game.
Their engine, what's it called engine? The
RE engine.
The RE engine.
Which stands for Reach for the Moon or something. It doesn't mean Resident Evil, surprisingly.
okay in the
I heard
logo
that the other day. I was like, for real?
in the logo isn't the ring finger super short?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Well, but like that is such a fabulous engine. That engine works very well, and I feel like you can slot a lot of pre-existing things into it.
That's 100% one of the strengths is that they're
Yeah.
able to just photograph items and things and put them into the game or people's faces.
And it all looks pretty real. Like the topographical mapping of objects apparently is super easy with that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
7 was groundbreaking, first person, and kind of very separate from the franchise. And then Village comes along, and Village kind of was more of a unifier because this is Village is very much an RE4 nostalgia trip a little bit. It's kind of a lot of the themes and locations. You start off in a village and you're getting mauled until a time frame runs out. Same opening.
Yeah.
Then they started doing the remakes, RE2 remake, RE3 remake, and it's just natural. We're going to get to RE4 remake.
Well, RE2 and RE3 came out before Village, right?
Around the same time. I think 2 was maybe a little before.
RE2 was 2019.
Yeah.
It's been that long already? Mm-hmm. Damn.
RE2 remake took the old games, modernized them. I loved RE2 remake.
RE2 remake.
2 and 3 are great.
I didn't finish
like
3.
I didn't like 3 at all, really.
Well, it was good for me because I never played... Well, I played the original 3, but I never beat them. Resident Evil 4 was the first one that I had beaten because it moved you out of that traditional, like, locked camera sort of point of view.
Tank controls.
Yeah.
I read the young adult novelizations, so I know way more.
I watched the movie.
I read those too.
I still got them.
I watched the movies, so I know exactly what's going on in canon.
I kind of I forgot, like, oh yeah, they just made a movie that was RE1 and 2 combined. I'm like, I have to watch that. I did once and it completely erased it already. But yes, RE4 remake was announced June 2022. Allegedly began around 2018, led by the studio M2. Early 2021 development was brought in-house in 2021. Development team directed by Yasuhiro Anpo and Kazunori Kato. Essentially, everybody on the development team have been working with Resident Evil since like 5. It's long time. People work on this franchise and they stick around, which is kind of cool. And they wanted to redesign the visuals to create a tenser, more horrific atmosphere, new character designs and backgrounds, and they wanted the story to be more horrific, which the new designs I found very horrifying.
Some of them are pretty. Some of them are pretty standard.
Compared to
The animations obviously are better. There's some bit of me, and it might be just nostalgia, but I miss running away from a giant Napoleon robot.
I heard that happened in that game. I didn't get to see that. I saw the statue being made, and I also know that there was a sequence where Leon Kennedy dips beneath lasers.
Yes.
Which, that just must come out of fucking nowhere, because there's like no lasers in the castle at all.
It's in the 5th chapter of the original 4 when you're on the island.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this game, it's really unexpected the way that it starts versus where it finishes.
It goes ball to the...
If you show somebody the first village sequence and then you show them the ending sequence, you would...
4.
Yes. It's shocking. Because it seems like such a grounded, it's going to be like almost like a time capsule little... A bottle.
Almost kind
episode.
of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like a...
Or like M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, where it's like, all right, we're very rural, we're very tucked away, no technology, and then all of a sudden it's fucking lasers and walking robots and stuff.
I still prefer that.
That's Resident Evil Camp, though, in perfection. Like in Village, when the guy turns into a giant metal monster made out of vehicles, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, dude.
I didn't know I wanted it, but thank you.
Yeah.
When you start summoning satellite lasers, though...
Hammer of Dawn, baby.
Whatever.
It's funny. Like, there is a moving line that some people are like, "This is where I draw it. This is where I draw it." It seemed to a lot of people be punching the boulders in 6.
The punching of the boulder.
Because he's not even enhanced. Like, it's not even like you have a virus in you temporarily.
He's just so fucking fed up with Albert Wesker. That's what I'm like, wow, he's finally doing it. He's so mad at that boulder. He's like, I'm so done. I've had to deal with all this crap. I summoned a giant laser from space. I'm just ready to be done.
He just visualize and attack.
Yeah.
I finished Odyssey last night, and Cassandra it's Layla. She's all of a sudden you're out of the Animus, and then this guy walks up, and you just see his like black pants and legs. I'm like, fucking Wesker. I was so excited by it. It was just a fake Wesker. Not even
a pretender.
Didn't even have cool glasses on.
Yeah.
Talking about where Remake gets to. Well, before we get there, the playable demo announced and released March 9th, 2023.
That's not even that fucking long ago.
I know.
Did I play this that recently? I feel like I played this
That was just
ago.
That was just
Yeah.
the demo. The demo was released March 9th. And the
still.
game was released March 24th, 2023 for PS4, 5, Windows, and Xbox.
I got it day one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
beat
still
it
a
in
fresh
March.
game.
Yeah. I beat it in March as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's largely so similar that it actually felt like putting on a glove.
Yeah.
They do fun things to where
They do a lot of different things.
you think like, oh, I can go hide up in this tower and it's like a safe camping spot, and then it just fucking falls apart.
Well, the castle itself is the most changed out of everything I've seen. It's completely different. There's no sequence where you're like truly underground with those chameleon bug things. It's the chameleon bugs are now like everywhere.
And the Stravidors.
But the level design is better too, because it loops around more. You can come back to places. It's taking a lot from Souls games, and it works because it's a building, for Christ's sake. Why not like just play with that functionality?
Interconnect them,
Exactly.
make it replayable.
That way you don't need much. You don't need to have as much going on, and you can just contain the environment within itself. I'm sure that helps with processing too, but.
Sold 4 million units in its first 2 weeks, making it one of the fastest selling Resident Evil games. Mercenaries free DLC was added April 7th, as well as microtransactions. So that's what you do. You release the game with no microtransactions. All the articles come out saying no microtransactions, and then you patch them in fucking 3 weeks later.
Well, I mean, I didn't see anything about it really.
Yeah, if you go in there and you want to get all of your exclusive ticket upgrades to your guns, just pay $10 and you can get all your guns to max level.
I prefer to earn it. There's New Game
Yeah.
Plus. You could just literally keep playing it over and over and get everything maxed out.
Yeah, that's what.
There's nothing you
should
can't
do.
There's nothing you can't earn. Although I think the only way to get the classic soundtrack is to purchase that.
Oh, whatever.
If that's what you want.
That's not what I want.
So, Resident Evil 4 Remake. Tyler, you said you beat it fairly quickly.
Yeah, it was an impulse buy because I did not have. I shouldn't have bought it. I had already bought. I think we talked about
We
this
did
last
talk
week.
about it, yeah.
I buy about a game a month, and I think I bought 3 in March.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck it. And it consumed my life for about 5 days. I beat it during a work week. All I did was work, come home, and play. And I fucking loved it.
No showers, no
Nothing.
sleep.
I didn't eat. I just drank High Life.
It smelled horrible in here on Sunday because there was no showers while Carly was gone.
No, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like this game a lot, and I had a lot of expectations. And when I played it, it was kind of this simultaneous feeling of, oh yeah, I remember all this. Oh, this is different. That's cool. Oh, this is better. Oh, this is better too. But there's something almost immemorable about it. It almost feels like I'm playing my thoughts and memories of a game I played a long time ago, which is
how you
that
remembered
might
it.
serve its function.
It's more of how you remembered it than what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually quite the achievement. I think that's a good thing too, because this game looks very good, and I think it's gonna look very good for a long time. Resident Evil 4 had that benefit as well, because even as the 360 and the PS3 were coming out, this game still kind of looked comparable like 7-8 years later to like 2013.
Yeah.
And nobody could really tell the difference because a lot of games kind of had that same kind of non-HD texturing. You know what I mean? Where there's no glisten, the lighting is bad. That existed for a long time. But this has ray tracing. It's got a bunch of things that really work well.
I mean, when you get out of the car and you're walking towards the cabin at the beginning of the game
Yeah.
through the woods, my jaw dropped because
It looks great.
and it is a lot of nostalgia because in my mind, Resident Evil 4 looks like this because it looked so good to me as a kid.
Do you remember how brown and gray it was, though?
Yeah, and we just booted it up. It's very flat.
Yeah, it's
very
brown.
flat.
It's very brown, very gray, but there is an atmosphere to that.
Yeah.
It almost looks kind of like dead. It looks like the fall. There's a real vibe going on with that atmosphere. This kind of chooses more of a dingy kind of it almost doesn't even feel like the same location.
It gives it much more of a traditional, like, in the middle of the woods horror vibe than the weird harvest brown flat villagers that we got in the original. And I mean, lighting is mostly to blame for that because the lighting in this game is fantastic. It looks so cinematic. Even when you're just playing in game, not even the cutscenes look fantastic.
This would make a very good 6-episode Netflix series.
Oh my God, it would.
It's cinematic in nature. I mean, the fact that you're like doing jet ski escapes and
Rescuing the fucking president's daughter.
Yeah.
That is such an insane... Like, if you pitch that idea, it is very easy to make that corny and
I gotta get
stupid.
out there and save Hunter Biden.
The collectibles are his laptops.
It's like, there are so many of these. I can't carry them all, Hunter.
Hunter, get in the locker.
Oh, come on, man.
Hunter,
You know, my brother. You know,
do you
my
have your
brother
laptop
died.
here, Hunter?
You know, my brother's dead. Did you know that? Yes, you've told me that before. You know, my dad's the president.
Look at the
Yes,
ballistics on this
Hunter.
guy.
Yes, Hunter, we know. We know your dad's the president. He's kind of wacky, though, sometimes, huh? Political.
Did you see he fell off a bike? You can't talk when you're in the locker. They'll hear you. Shut up.
Got a job to do. What am I? Secret Service? What am I?
Yes. Gameplay, still over the shoulder, third person.
Less tight.
Quick time events, gone.
Thank God.
Although I felt them. I felt every
Time it should have happened.
every scene I was in,
Yes.
I'm like this. I just picked up the controller and just waited because it's written into the DNA of the scene.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like
You
the
can feel
like
it
the first,
coming.
like that first boulder that you have to run away from by tapping A on the GameCube controller. Oof.
And every time there's a situation where like Krauser's got a knife in the room, I'm like, all right, where's the X or B?
Yep.
I know it's coming.
I do like the overhaul of the combat system.
Oh, yeah.
The ability to parry and dodge more effectively.
Parrying rules.
Dodge doesn't work for-
doesn't do much.
No, Dodge was useless.
I
I was
always
good
parry.
at it. Like when they go up top, you go down side to side.
Yeah.
I got into it. I was Muhammad Ali out there. I
Yeah,
had
I
him
bet you
looking
were.
down at my feet while I was doing the rope-a-dope. And then I just fucking bounce over here, stab him.
It's not too hard if you have a little space to just dance around the villagers or the Garados. We'll get down to their names, but the biggest revelation to me is the knife combat.
It got way
Yeah.
better.
I didn't utilize it enough at first, but almost every attack is parryable,
Yeah.
and you know they can be
Any melee.
they can be throwing an axe at you. You can parry an axe in the air, like
And the first time
that's so fucking sick when you do that.
the first time you do it, like I did it on accident the first time. I was
you
just
panicked?
I was panicking and I hit a button and Leon
That's exactly what happened to me.
and I was like,
you're just,
fuck yeah.
You're like Aragorn all of a sudden.
yeah.
Just like look at your sword, like, oh my god.
Like I didn't know I was
Leon's a bit of a
capable of
John
that.
Wick.
Well, I mean that's a good point. Leon, he was kind of a scaredy boy in 2. He was a rookie cop. How do you go from rookie cop to like I'm on a solo mission to save Hunter Biden?
You survived Resident Evil 2.
Well,
It's not just that. It's implied that he had a lot of side missions in the meantime that really fucked him up, which is actually like cool. There's like a whole PTSD angle.
yeah, he was in the original one. It says he signed up. In the remake, they're like, I was coerced and kind of forced after Raccoon City to become an agent for the government. And then he had a mission with Krauser, and Krauser was the one who taught him. I just love in the sequence, for some reason, Leon can be in military training, but he got his fucking pretty boy hair just everywhere. It's like, hey, you should probably have to cut that off, right?
They tried. Fun fact: they tried to cut it off. It broke the clippers.
It's too.
It's like steel wool.
His hair just parrying clippers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you got to look like a guy from NSYNC.
And he does. He's a pretty boy.
Yes. One of the things that I find interesting is that this is now essentially a period piece. Did you guys think about that?
Well, that it's a 2004 period piece.
It is literally 2004, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes place in 2004. Most games now are just like, how often do you go back
That's true.
How often do you go back only 18 years to like, we don't do period pieces about that yet. So, I mean, obviously it had to match the tone. The technology had to be similar. I mean, there was some high-tech stuff, but you have to, like funding and secret organizations and whatever, but everything kind of had that feel to it. The cars looked...
That explains why at the beginning, Livin' La Vida Loco by Ricky Martin is playing on the radio.
I wish.
2005? That's... I mean, maybe they just got it there in Spain.
To me,
that was the first Spanish song I could think of.
To me, most
when I was younger.
Ooh, baby, when you talk...
There you go. Shakira.
It should have been Hero by Enrique.
Oh, yeah.
But...
And he goes, wow, the latest hit of the day.
This song just came out yesterday. He turns around in the seat.
And then Leon goes, the police officer turns it off the radio, and Leon's like, I was listening to that.
Then he then he looks out the window all sad.
Oh no, they get
Could
there.
have waited until the song was done.
He gets there, and the guy goes, "Hey, you gonna give me 5 stars?"
I gotta take a leak, man. I'll be right back. My Uber driver's taking a fucking leak out there.
It's like, whatever.
To me, though, the game has a lot of like timelessness. It doesn't feel like super 2004. It seems like it could be anywhere from like 90s to today, because the technology, it's an isolated island. It's not getting tons of new things. It's got laser traps. That's like the most high-tech thing that I saw, were some of those like automated turrets. But
the houses are all dingy. They look like they haven't been kept up. Obviously, these guys have been infected for how long? 15 years?
We'll get into some of the lore. I'm not going to, without my outline, start saying numbers.
Oh, okay.
Even before they were infected, they were an isolated community that wanted to be away from technology.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were hyper religious.
They hardcore Catholic is what they originally were. But yes, you can parry shotguns in this game.
The Pope should have been the ultimate enemy at the end of it.
One of these days.
Like in Assassin's Creed 2 when you get to punch the Pope.
I guess Assassin's Creed is the only game that's had the Pope as a villain in a big way.
Yeah, and then when you beat the Pope, then Rats by Ghosts just starts playing on an electric guitar.
But then you know that it's matured when it starts playing an instrumental version of Hero by Enrique Iglesias.
Yeah.
Like a fast Spanish guitar version. Sign me up.
I'll listen to anything by you, Enrique.
Moving and shooting at the same time, that's nice.
Who would have thunk?
Oh my God. That is the biggest improvement.
Imagine if John Wick, whenever he was in a battle, just stopped whenever he had to shoot.
So that was So that is like that is why I actually found this game too easy. I actually was just like, oh yeah, well, yeah, fuck. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Bam, bam, bam. And I was like, all right, cool. This is awesome.
They did add villagers though, because like in the original game, there's a lot less. So at least they're trying to like
there's a lot less.
You.
Well, there's also a lot less head poppers, like those special enemies.
Yeah.
They actually move slower in the original 4 as well. These guys move quick,
and you get them almost immediately.
Yeah, I remember they can start popping up right away.
Yeah, in the original, you had to. It
was like chapter 2.
Yeah, you had to get a ways into the game before you. There's a cutscene for the first time you see one.
Yeah.
You shoot him in the head, and then he doesn't go down. I was like, oh, no, I'm in trouble.
I'm in a bad spot. I'm in a tight spot here.
What do I do now?
Honestly, yeah. I still get surprised by when you wake up in the household and you got to go downstairs, and then there's a chainsaw guy. Well, guess what? They gave you 2 chainsaw guys at the same time this time. Whoa. I was actually kind of like, oh, yeah, of course they would.
When I booted this game up and started playing, there was 2 things I was scared of, and it was the head poppers and the chainsaw guys. And I was like, I was just waiting for them to show up, because I remember being a child, and they were not only difficult, but absolutely horrifying.
Total bullet sponges. And also, the head poppers are harder to kill in this one.
Yes.
Ammo's a little more plentiful. That's a granted.
Once you get those flashbangs, though.
I only had like
I crafted
a chapter or 2 where I was very strapped for ammo.
Yeah, I think it's like slightly early on.
For me, it was Island.
When you get the regenerator.
The regenerator wasn't too bad.
Well, getting that scope sucked ass in this one. I remember it being pretty easy in the original. I don't know why I did, but in this one, I was super confused as where to go. And I was just like, I don't have keys to get into here, to go over here, to come back to there. I was like, it's a little, it's fine, but...
They don't expect you to read the files to progress. It's usually like nice little storytelling. It kind of fleshes out the world. Occasionally puzzles will say, the sun was here, the cat was there, the moon followed. And then like you go enter sun, cat, moon on a fucking clock puzzle.
Yeah.
Because that's how the world works.
Well, that's
the Resident Evil. Only one character has ever mentioned anything about it. It was Ethan Winters. She's like, who the fuck made this place?
It's true.
Thank you, Ethan, for finally saying
R.I.P. Ethan.
He's still around. At the end of Village, he was off in the distance.
Was he? I thought that was
maybe.
That was like one of her handlers.
No, there's like a shot in the distance. You can see like a figure and someone is like out of bounds secrets went forward and it is Ethan's model.
Oh, really?
Not sure if it was a placeholder, but Ethan Winters is my favorite new character.
He's really interesting. I love how often his arms and hands get chopped off and stuff. It's so fucking funny. And then he just sews them back on and everyone's expected to be like, yeah, man, that's fine.
And then the twist at the end of 8, like, oh, he was like really infected and dead.
Yeah.
It should have just been incredibly obvious.
And he made a half-dead child.
He's carrying around a baby in a jar. Like, this is my baby's head in a jar. It's going to be fine. I'm going to save you.
Hey, guys, say hi to George. He's a little shy. Sorry.
Fucking love Village.
I do, too. It reminds me of my little axolotl. I got a little axolotl preserved in a jar.
I've seen a photo of that.
And sometimes I want to revive it and have it as a friend.
A long time ago. Actually, this does go fucking back. This is some of the earliest Resident Evil lore we're going to be talking about in the history of the game. So, ancient times. That's what it says on their fucking Wikipedia. Ancient times.
So, like 1975?
Yeah, man.
1823. No, old. Cave-dwelling culture who worship the Lost Plagas from the Neolithic period. When's the Neolithic period, Dylan?
Can't say off the top of my head.
Correct. Los Illuminados have controlled this region until the late 15th century. So
I think it was 100,000 years ago.
The cave-dwelling culture knew about the Plagas and were worshiping it for a long time. Until the 15th century, when Salazar leads a crusade driving Los Illuminados underground and seals them off. He constructs a castle above the caverns to maintain Catholic control.
I did know that portion because I found whatever it is in the game that explains that.
I did read that as well.
Now, we'll talk about Osman Sadler's ancestors in a sec. Valdelobos is the name of the city.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Can we call it a city?
The village.
Yeah.
It's village of
the
dogs?
township.
Wait, does that mean the village of dogs? Or
Yeah, what was it?
Lobos is wolf, dog. I don't know what it means.
I would call it a township, unincorporated.
Yeah. They don't want the government involved.
No, there's no census going on here.
it's like an Amish community.
Yeah.
But I know they buy Nikes and shit.
Yeah.
What country is this in, fellas?
Spain.
I was going to test Tyler. I know you know this.
Oh.
I was going to say Central America.
Oh, it's Spain.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I thought
Really?
so.
They say
I
it's
thought so
Spain.
too until like halfway through the game. I was like,
Like, we're close to like Guatemala, right?
Well, they speak the Spaniard style
They
of
speak
Spanish.
capital S Spanish.
They do, yeah.
I don't know the difference.
Valdelobos is a village
Castilian.
culturally isolated from the rest of Spain. They have chosen to keep themselves separate. Pre-Roman city-state, populated by a strict Catholic and feudal society centered around a clutter of hamlets near Salazar Castle. They've shunned modern technologies, and their current the castle owner, the Castellan, I don't know how you'd say, like the provincial leader,
Sure.
is Ramon Salazar. He is not loved. He has a growth disease that makes him incredibly small.
Isn't it canon? It's the same thing that like Gary Coleman had. It's that disease, isn't it?
And Ramon was
Dwarfism?
No, Gary Coleman wasn't a dwarf. He just had that disease where he looked like a child.
He had growth. Something was wrong.
Yeah.
Ramon was expected to die very young age, and that's when Los Illuminados said, "Let me put something in your baby."
Hey.
Yo,
I got this fire shit over here. It's gonna make him live longer.
dude, this is Snoop Dogg's vape.
Does your baby like bugs?
So this is kind of a bug, maybe a disease.
We don't know.
We're not sure.
But there is a lot of Rasputin vibes I get throughout this game, mostly from the village chief. The village chief has a very Rasputin look.
Oh, he has a look.
But
He's nothing like Rasputin.
the thought of somebody coming into a house to save, like, keep a royal child healthy is very Rasputin.
That is correct.
So, Ramon Salazar becomes infected. Parents mysteriously die. He opens up underneath the castle and starts mining down there to find the Las Plagas. People become infected. It spreads pretty quick. Mm-hmm. Spanish authorities know people are missing in the area and establish a quarantine. Nobody go in there. It's kind of fucked. Just leave it alone. People have gone missing recently.
Wow. That's a huge failure of government.
We're giving up.
No federal oversight.
Well, it's kind of like how a lot of cults operate in America. Not today, but in the past 20, 30 years, 40 years.
Even the Mormons. And
that's not long ago, where they're just like...
that long ago, yeah.
They say they have religious freedom and they have rights and they can go in there and close the doors.
Or it's even like that tribe off the coast of India or something. The one that they have that island. They shoot their arrows at helicopters. They just a couple years ago they killed that
a missionary
guy.
tried to go there a couple times.
You mean the white holy savior who tried to go and be like,
he was Asian. He was Asian.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured it must have been a white dude who's like, I will do this.
I can fix this.
I'm going to teach him how to be vegan.
They killed him, and then, yes, the government could roll in and just wipe them out, but...
They were like, you fucked up, dude.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? We don't need the island. Just don't go there.
It's literally just stay off the island.
Yeah, and I think
they're all self-sustained. It's fine.
I think it's a little bit of that for this. They were like, there's obviously something weird going on over there. They want to be left alone. Let's just leave them alone.
The problem is that they're not... They may have been like this sect of religion, but also when you start like amassing weapons and technology and stuff like that, that's when obviously, we have like Waco here.
Yeah.
The earliest towns that the Mormons tried to settle, they all got, like, get out of here.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the one in Illinois called again?
Oh, fuck. It's
Somethingville.
Yeah. Damn, I just listened to that episode too.
But also, like, I totally agree with not letting a theocracy run within the United States.
Plus, they were keeping tabs. They knew they weren't hoarding weapons at this island. They just had pallets of chainsaws being shipped to it, and they're like, yeah, it's fine.
So Leon gets dropped off on the outskirts. Mm-hmm. He promptly walks into a dude's house without knocking, enters the dude's room, speaks English at him, and shoots the guy in the head. We understand it's okay in the end, but like he also seemed to have not tried too hard to...
They telegraph it more in this one, but also you kind of enter on him, whereas he shows up in the original, and he shows up and he's like, what do you mean? And Leon's like, hey man, I noticed I just need to see what's going on. And he just goes, and then he starts to attack you. And then at that point, it's like self-defense.
And in this one, you do find the cop's dead body before you shoot this guy in the head.
But we don't know it's him.
Yes, but...
It can be...
one dude, one place. Well, there's actually a couple dudes.
I don't know. It's funny to me. Just walking in there, breaking into a dude's house. I wish, like, every RPG, you just walk into someone's house, they yelled at you or had a random battle with you. Like, get the fuck out of my bedroom, dude.
I've actually played some games like that.
Yeah, like when you actually steal from the merchant in Link's Awakening, like, that's very realistic how pissed he gets. Mm-hmm. Although he's overpowered. That guy is like a demon from another world or something. I don't know what's going on there. You get introduced to the Ganados. The Ganados are going to be your run-of-the-mill enemy. In Spanish, it means livestock. And if they fall to the ground and start to shake, stab them quickly or you'll fight them again. Did you guys shoot the crows at all in this game? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I didn't shoot a single crow. I didn't know that they drop shit.
They give you spinels.
Spinels or ammo or gunpowder.
It used to
money,
be mostly
peseta.
spinels, right?
Yeah. It was nice when I would risk it. I only had like 2 bullets left and I'd shoot one and they'd drop handgun ammo and I was like, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Instead of having items that glow, like in the original one, that were like a different contrast to show they were breakable, things just splattered with yellow paint. So much like Shuffley in Castlevania, there is somebody going around with yellow paint like, I put 10 pieces of handgun ammo in this barrel.
That looks like I could punch it.
I'm gonna let them know they can climb up here.
If you just had 2 people, you could climb right there. just throwing paint. Who is this guy?
To be fair, though, it's hype. It's very.
This box looks breakable.
It's very hard to telegraph that in video games. So I kind of
It matches
like
the art design, and it's the yellow works in the world, but it's also not used anywhere else really, so it sticks out. I like it as well because when you get to the castle and they have just the vases, which don't have a unique color, I miss more.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I smash everything.
Yeah.
They call you the Hulk.
Dylan Smash. Well, I mean, in this game, I know that everything's hiding in little hidey places. Yeah. So I'm just a beast about, like, gotta get it. I don't care what it is. Plus sometimes you can find, like, a rare ruby.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just really funny canonically to have him kill, like, 18 villagers at once and then turn around and be like, blah, and hit a box. It makes me laugh.
Just stabs.
Tired.
I can tell you, I have 2 barrels in my living room. I could not stab that fucker open.
I could.
You need a big knife.
Yes.
I couldn't chainsaw it open probably without hurting myself.
Oh, my shoulders.
More like I get caught and flick back or something. There's a thumb.
Just have to have the grip and the ease.
So we get to the village.
I looked at Tyler for that, deep into his eyes.
We made eye contact for that entire moment.
Yeah. Tyler's mouth just dropped for people that are listening. He was very impressed.
Whoa.
Yeah. The village attack is very iconic.
Yes.
I did not know. First, I should have known that it was a timed thing. So I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And
You can run the entire time, yeah.
You can try and fight them all off. You can kill Mr. Chainsaw Guy. There's a few like scripted events. If you run through the little open barn, the cow will start it on fire and charge into the enemies.
Yep,
That was
had
awesome.
I remember that, yeah.
You previously could climb up a tower and hide up there. You very quickly fall through, which I love.
Because my first move was I tried to kill the chainsaw guy.
You go through the house to get the shotgun.
Yep. And then I tried to kill the chainsaw guy because he's haunted my dreams for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And then
He's much more of a bullet
I went straight to the tower because I was like, I remember you, old friend.
Yeah.
And then I got up there and the floor broke and I was like, fucking A, man.
I did the same exact. That was my same exact run.
Watch this. I got this.
I literally said that to Jordan. I was like, hey man, I know exactly what I'm doing. Watch what I'm doing. Look how I'm bobbing and weaving. Oh, I'm going up the tower. I'm going up, and then I'm up there for a little bit, and I'm just like, oh yeah, like this is gonna be so easy. I can pop them from,
I'm just going to wait for him to climb the ladder and I'm going to knife him.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Well, nope, goes right out from underneath you. I do like how it plays with players' expectations because they know that a lot of people who bought
That they played the other one to death.
Well, and they were still up until a little while ago, even like releasing it on the Switch. Mm-hmm. So this is not like this is not like an ancient game. This is something that could still be very accessible within someone's mind.
It's managed to stay kind of in the zeitgeist.
It has,
since it released.
Yeah.
Because it still pops up in conversation, or I'll see it being on sale somewhere. And they did do that remaster a couple years back. The HD remaster or remake. What's the word I'm looking for? Remaster.
Yeah, and it looks fine.
It looks better than some remasters.
Yeah, it's true. It's just up-resed, I think.
Yeah.
Now, 4.5 minutes is your survival time before.
It feels like a longer time.
It feels a long time. The bell rings. But did you know, in the remake,
You can shoot the bell.
you can shoot the church bell.
No shit.
And it stops the battle immediately, and they all go to mass or whatever. They all go to bingo. It's only, though, on New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Because you need a rifle to shoot that far.
Yeah, you need a
No shit.
sniper.
I did it. I did a test after I beat the game, and sure enough, I went over there, and it just immediately stopped.
And you can snipe it right from the position where you enter the village and you need to watch all of your friends dying. And so you can just go, bing.
So you wait for them to burn that guy at the stake, and then you shoot it.
Yeah.
I actually just shoot the guy in the head at the stake. No, I don't do that. I wouldn't waste
Well, I mean,
ammo.
that's mercy.
I wouldn't waste ammo.
That's
That's
not
a pretty
Mance
good
Raider
mercy, though.
right there, you know?
Oh, I don't know.
We get introduced to Chainsaw Enemy. We get introduced to the Brute.
Now, he has a name.
Dr. Salvador,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
The chainsaw guy is Dr. Salvador.
He has a name. His enemy type is called Dr. Salvador.
So he's a doctor in the sense that he specializes in amputees, right? Like that's why he's got the chainsaw.
Well, that's really not
He's
the
like,
way to do
it's
it.
like a 16th century doctor where he just cuts something off with a chainsaw.
Yeah. I'm going to put a leech right here.
That's going to cost you $10.
I'm going to cut that off.
He's like how in the 18th century, barbers were surgeons.
Yeah. I just learned
You want a
that.
haircut or you want a hysterectomy?
Yeah.
I'll shave you up real good. I'll pull that tooth and I'll cut off your pinky finger. That'll be $15.
Let me fill the bathtub up for you while you're here.
You like leeches?
Bear traps.
Yeah.
I almost never could avoid them.
They did a good job of hiding them this time.
I think I just ran into every single one almost. It was fucking annoying.
It was really a pain in the ass this round. There's so many more. It almost feels scripted in the other one, but a scripted thing you can kind of avoid. But because they would put them in the most inopportune places.
I remember in the original, there's one path you go down, and there's like 6 of them in a row, and they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you just look down the path, and you're like, I can just see these. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you have to zigzag between them.
Well, that's like the early portion too. Yeah.
Like, I know what you're doing here.
Then you help the puppy.
Yeah.
Gotta help the puppy.
Have to help.
It's very important.
I had known that. I remember hearing that somewhere. That help the dog when he shows up later.
Yeah. Plus, like, what kind of heartless bastard at that point in the game is not going to help the wolf?
Yeah.
That's why I didn't shoot the crows. I'm like, they're not bothering me. I didn't realize they would drop good things for me.
Honestly, I'd eat the crows before I'd eat a lot of other things, like
before
raw
eating
fish.
Yeah,
that isn't prepared like.
And raw fish from this area, there's just infection rampant.
Yeah,
yeah.
The wolves look like the wolves from Hercules, the animated film. Just like
that's true.
Just as, I thought the wolves looked pretty dumb. They were one of the enemies that I thought looked. For some reason, those looked unrealistic to me. Where everything else, I'm like, oh yeah, you got 10 tentacles coming out of your head.
I don't like dog or wolf enemies in most games, and it's not because I can't like separate myself from, reality. Where, I mean, if a wolf was charging me, I would shoot one, but if a dog were charging me, I'd have to think about it for a second. You know what I mean?
If it was a Chihuahua, I'd kick it. No, I wouldn't.
If it was at that point, it's called a punt.
Yeah. 60 yards.
But the fast little enemies that come after you, I always hate those in video games.
They're hard to shoot. Especially, I'm a handgun guy in this game.
Well, I turned up the sensitivity almost to the top.
Oh, really?
For this?
Yeah.
I'm very precision based.
Yeah.
And I don't use like strong movements with my thumb because you're wasting energy, you're wasting space.
I might as well be playing with my big toes because I never touch the sensitivity on any game. The moment it goes up, I'm useless.
Oh.
I am not precise.
I always go maybe to 80% most of the time, but in this one I was like, yep. Okay. I'm really turning.
I don't mess with sensitivity at all unless I can feel it being a problem.
I do it just because there is a specific kind of tuning that I have to do with video games, especially when it comes to a shooter, because there's a way that my thumb like locks and clicks to a certain degree, and if it doesn't match like the length of my thumb, then it kind of makes everything feel off.
That makes sense. I never thought about it that way.
You escape the village. You find a man under a trapdoor in a bag. You find Dr. Luis Serra Navarro. Now, Dr. Luis...
I like this guy.
Spanish biologist, native to the area. His mother died in childbirth. His grandfather was bit by a wolf right when the infection started spreading. And while the kid was away, Bitoris Mendez, the village chief, burned the house down to prevent the spread. That's when he decided he was going to leave, became an employee of Umbrella for the biology department. Luis actually helped develop the Nemesis project. Returned home, was recruited by Los Illuminados to research the Plagas parasite. He was one of the people that found the dominant Plagas, which if you have the dominant Plagas, you can control the submissive Plagas. Mm-hmm. And seeing the horrible effects of the cult, he betrayed them and planned on selling a dominant strain sample to Ada Wong. Didn't know she was working for Albert Wesker, and he was selling it to someone who was going to do as bad, if not worse. But he's trying to escape the cult and find a way out. As soon as you find him, though, Bitoris Mendez, the village chief, I just call him the Rasputin-looking guy, like a priest with the hat.
Big old beard.
Scary dude.
He's like if the Undertaker met Rasputin.
If the Undertaker was Mr. X from Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
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 But not the Harley Davidson era Undertaker, where he rode down on a motorcycle.
Did not like him.
No, that was dumb.
Early 90s
when
Undertaker.
he went by the dead man.
When he actually was buried alive and his hand came up from the dirt.
I'm thinking
that was golden age wrestling.
Yes. I'm thinking more Purple Glove Undertaker era.
Ooh, yeah.
Is what I'm seeing here.
I don't know none of
That
that
tangent
shit.
is over. We can continue.
Do you know his brother Kane? You know what Kane's original wrestling name was?
Kane originally was the replacement for Diesel, and he was a dentist.
Isaac Hayes, DDS.
Yep.
He was a dentist wrestler.
He was a dentist. And then when Kevin Nash went to WCW, his name was Diesel. Vince McMahon just made Kane Diesel and was like, you're just Diesel now.
This is not. Everyone's like, that's not allowed, dude.
And it's like Diesel was the former champion, and now this is how dare you stand where
Diesel's not like a 007 in the wrestling world.
you can't just recast Diesel.
The new Diesel is Daniel Craig.
It doesn't work.
If Daniel Craig showed up as Diesel, I would allow it.
That'd be kind of cool.
I saw him in a weird vodka commercial recently, and he's doing these weird dances.
Diesel? No.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig.
Oh, Daniel. Yeah, that's it.
Belvedere.
Taika Waititi directed that.
Really?
Yeah,
I gotta see
like that
this.
commercial.
It's weird?
Actually, it's weird, but it's very Taika.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Torres Mendez, Village Chief. We'll call him the Big Cheese from now on. He injects you. You have the Plagas. You get to finally meet the merchant, though.
What are you buying?
I only heard him say it once this fucking whole game.
What are you doing, stranger?
Gun rhymes with fun.
The stranger was one of my favorite things about the game, simply because I missed that little goofy bastard. And two, now he fucking opens up his jacket and it's super dope.
I
And
love
he's
it.
like,
Yeah, it's a cool jacket.
The model,
Yeah.
I like got that in the collectibles.
Now he's got like a donkey.
just fucking loaded up.
He's got a burro.
He is in
Yeah.
the same class as the merchant from Village, though. These people just are always one step ahead of you, and they've set up a shop.
They're almost supernatural.
They have, I mean, they're
have
a gameplay conceit, but they would if they tried to explain it logically.
Well, the Duke, there's so many implications about what the Duke is
And
from
the Duke
Village.
and the Duke knows the merchant.
Yeah, because he mentions him.
He says at one point, he's like, "What are you buying?" He's like, "My friend used to say that."
they play cribbage on the weekends.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. They must have a great time. I love cribbage.
The merchant will sell you guns, items. You can buy things. You can sell things to him. You can tune up your weapons. You want to repair your knives. You'll eventually get body armor. You want to repair that. And then you can also trade in your spinels
Your objects.
for you want treasure maps immediately.
Yeah.
And then you can get attaché case upgrades. You want as much space as possible because when you're putting a fish, 4 guns, and 3 herbs into one briefcase, the bigger the briefcase, the better.
Yeah.
If you want more than just 2 weapons at a time.
I mean, I do love the concept of all that nasty shit in one briefcase. And a chicken egg, which is never broken, despite 7 chapters.
I got fish oil on my RPG.
It's a padded attaché. It's a padded attaché, so it's got the nice like foam interior that kind of gently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So he has a foam insert of a fish.
No, but
Essentially.
it kind of morphs to the shape.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
cool.
You can also, there's a shooting range the merchant has. This is the only time we're really talking about the merchant. There's
I like the shooting range in this. It's a really good way to practice if you feel like you're behind and that you haven't gotten like up to speed. Because at first I did feel wonky in this game. For some reason, even after adjusting everything just the way I wanted it to, I found myself just being like, okay, well, I'm glad I can just go down into the basement and just pop off some rounds, really figure out what's going on with these weapons.
infinite
Yeah.
ammo. There's no penalty.
Yep.
Take your time.
And
Yeah.
don't you have to buy the laser pointer for your base handgun in this
Yeah,
one?
you do.
Yeah, I remember that.
It used to be all laser sights, pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
They actually included it because people were like upset in the trailers that there wasn't the laser scope.
Yeah.
They're like, we want lasers.
Everyone wants lasers.
Yeah.
The laser's cool.
The laser is something I did put on my gun.
Yeah. And it's nice the shooting range. You can try out weapons you haven't used yet
Yeah.
And-
That's important because you got to know if you like them or
before
not.
you spend all that money.
Yeah.
And the song is the original opening from RE4 in the car. Enrique's Hero,
Can be your hero, baby.
which should be played at every shooting range, I think.
I can kiss away your pain.
You get to
No, hold on. Keep going.
I will stand by
That's
you forever.
You can't take my breath away.
So
Yeah.
in the
Kinda
village,
cries.
in the village chief's manor, there's a guy taking a dump.
Fun.
Did you find that?
Yeah, in the first door.
The first door
On your left.
He's actually sitting on the toilet. You can look in the toilet. It's pretty gross. But if you go upstairs...
Oh, no, a giant parasite living in your body doesn't create the worst shits imaginable.
Been there. If you go to the top of the stairs, though, he won't follow you when he runs back in the bathroom.
He's got a shit. Leave him alone.
I watched a donkey video and the guy just keeps running back nonstop.
He's like, I wasn't done. At that point, you just crap on the floor.
Ada Wong shows up to save you from the big cheese again.
Yeah.
Famous quadruple agent. I've never liked Ada Wong in the series. She makes Leon look like a foolish little b-boy.
Yeah, but she's wearing that. She's wearing that leather.
She's wearing unadvisedly high heels in spy scenarios.
She knows what she's capable of. She's a strong, independent woman. Except not. But maybe.
But I am. And fuck you. And I'm selling this to both of you. Neither of you. Goodbye. And Leon's like, she's so hot. I love her so much.
Meanwhile, the president's daughter's right there, and she's like throwing herself at him.
Hunter Biden's like, so what are you up to today?
So do you want to get ice cream?
Man, do you like beer? I really like beer.
You guys ever do cocaine?
It's true.
We have.
So political.
So political.
How do you guys feel? I'm just kidding.
We're going to have to head to the lake because Ashley's in a church, and you can't get in the church without a fucking weird giant stone thing you put in a door, which turns out it's at a lake. You go to the lake. The boat's out of ammo, or not ammo, the boat's out of fucking...
The boat is never out of ammo, it turns out.
The boat's out of fuel. You go get fuel, and then you get in there. Did you guys know if you shoot the water before getting...
that was in the original as well.
Yeah, it'll jump scare you. Like, it'll kill you if you just shoot the water.
If you shoot the water in the original, if you shoot it right at the lake, it will pop up the salamander and then drag you down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yes, you go out on the lake, and very quickly your boat runs out of fuel, and it turns into the most 360 era looking boss battle fucking ever.
It is. There's no other way to adapt this.
Yeah.
And frankly, it is like...
Just make it a cutscene. Or have him get trapped on that little center area, which you get to later, and you have to like hide and shoot at it and like...
You want to keep what this is. It's a little bit of a high octane change of pace. It kind of, breaks up the game a little bit. I thought it worked.
Throwing 50 spears from a rickety old boat getting pulled by a giant monster.
It didn't take me 50.
Whatever. Unlimited spears.
Yes.
It's about family.
It's about family.
Well, it'd be cool if there was a scene, or if after every time you threw it in, you'd have to pull it out or something. That'd be cool.
And you only had to hit it a few times.
Yeah.
Or they should have at least made the scene where like you first get into the boat, you're like, hold on, I gotta move these 87 spears to the back real quick.
Fun fact, in this
What
one,
are all these spears for?
in this one, he's actually easier to hit.
What if
It was super easy.
What if there was a comment like 3 spears, that's all I got. And then you have to shoot it a few times, and then eventually like it was coming at you and you had like a slowed down moment. You had to hit it in the eye.
Right.
That'd be cool.
I do like the parts
Just
where
getting pulled by a fucking monster.
the
Lago.
The lago, which just means lake.
Lost
The
in
lake.
The lake. He's getting literally pulled in the lake by the lake.
Yeah. I mean, El Gigante is the giant.
Yeah.
What does gigante mean?
Giant.
El Nino. It's Spanish for the Nino.
Yeah.
Remembering the original, there was beats that I knew. I was like, all right, I'm building up to this point. Your fight with the giant, the lake monster. I was prepared for this to be really difficult because I remember getting my ass kicked
He
back
swerves
in the
a lot
day.
more. He swerves a lot more in the first.
This one was so easy. First
I was
try,
just nailing
and I had no
it.
problem.
I don't think I missed.
Me too. It is very easy.
It's very easy. First try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's always a struggle. How much do you want somebody to die at a boss fight before you learn?
Because
If it's a certain expectation, like I expect in certain games
Yeah.
to die a bunch, Hollow Knights, Souls games.
Sure.
And other games where if I die more than twice, I am frustrated by it.
There's only if what you're doing doesn't make sense. Only if it's like a tagged on thing that doesn't feel right. There are so many boss battles in other games, like especially from that era, where they were just like, and now you're on like a turret, but like you can't defend yourself, so you have to be pinpoint on everything you take down.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, I'm not used to this. This is not the game you presented to me earlier. So
Yeah.
I'm not actually, there's no curve to this. So you just end up dying and dying and dying.
I wish there was,
Because essentially that's a turret section.
I wish there was more dialogue coaching the player what to do. I did not. They teach you parry very early on, and then I forgot about it. I didn't use it for half the game.
You don't really have to.
But it makes the gameplay much more fun, more snappy, and it's just everything feels better. And if Leon would say, I got to try and parry that next time, one line of dialogue, or the Ramon battle, took me a while, the Salazar one. And if he had just said...
I got him first time.
I think I died a few times.
If he said something like, gotta keep moving...
He whipped that. He's whipping around the field. You just got to make sure you're not on the same level as him. Otherwise, he'll use his tentacles to kind of whip you up.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess because this boss fight was not in the original whatsoever. I just kind of understood
Salazar or
this
the Del Lago?
Not Salazar.
Not Ramon.
Ramon.
Okay.
Ramon was easy. I'm sorry. I actually got him because it's literally like you go up a level, shoot, go down, move around, go up.
Wait, which one are we talking about now?
Well, we jumped
the burning barn.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's not. That's Batoris Mendez.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's Big Cheese.
That's Big Cheese.
Yeah, that guy, I think I died like once.
Yeah, I think I died once or twice.
I got him, but I think I remember the first one so well because I remember that being really intense.
Yeah, and it is in this one. The updated graphics make it look way scarier, way more heavy metal. Like it's just a fucking chef's kiss on that.
The fire in this game, the engine runs fire so well.
Yeah.
I believed it was fire, which is so rare in video games. Usually it's like, I mean, Ubisoft is doing a better job at fire, like how fire spreads. I don't know. But this is my favorite example of fire in a video game.
You defeat Del Lago, and you fucking go around the lake, and because your church door pendant is actually held by these giant hands, which require 2 animal statues that are in different locations.
What's cool is that
Sure.
Well, what's cool is that you can stay on the boat and then you can go visit other parts across the lake.
I liked
very cool.
Riding the boat around felt great, and I thought that was going to be a bigger part of the game.
No,
It's just this chapter.
It should have, but it was really interesting, and I was like, oh, they're adding a lot of shit. Like there's caves you can go in.
Yeah.
There's
cool.
one spot you can go grab a golden chicken egg. Now, you can sell this for a side quest. You will find one more golden chicken egg, but it's important to hold on to this for a boss battle later. You get back to the church. On the way, El Gigante, he shows up. And we don't need to mention too much about him. It's very similar to Ari.
He's a big ogre.
Instead of OG. Every time they showed up, I just hear Boromir going, "We have a cave troll."
Yeah.
They look so much like him.
They do.
Even the armored one later on, I'm like, it seems a little close. But maybe they...
Well, they're big gray, you know.
You can hide in the cabin in the original. You can't come in there. If you try that in this version, he picks up the whole fucking hut and throws it. Love it. And they also played up the wolf's entrance because in the original it was a little more subdued. In this one, he just Gandalf's at the top of the hill and just howls in the moon.
Yeah, that's cool.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, I see your leg took no time to heal.
Yeah.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
He was ready to go.
He was down.
Can't keep a good boy down.
No.
We get back to the church cell and we find Ashley Graham, little 20-year-old college student, Hunter Biden style. She will be not a thorn in our side. She's
not bad in this one.
I didn't love some sections with her, but
Yeah.
it makes sense. She's going to get caught.
She's actually so much easier to manage in this one.
Yeah, I remember her being a major.
Do you remember in the castle when you have that whole sequence where you're kind of going up these tiered levels, and you have to send her up and
the
then
water
protect her?
hall.
Yeah.
The water hall.
The water hall. And I just remember in the first one that was always the most stressful segment of the game because I don't like escort missions at all.
No.
She actually kind of stays the fuck out of the way. Unless you bring her in legitimate danger, she's not easy to catch because she has dodge maneuvers of her own.
Yeah, and they have the new system where you can have her tight on you, or she gives you some space for you to work. And I felt like that was actually I was able to utilize it, and it worked pretty well for me.
Yeah, you can choose to be tactical.
Yeah, if I'm like, yo, back up, bitch, I got to take these guys down. I hit the back up, bitch button, and then I was like, all right, let's roll.
If Leon actually said that, that'd be kind of funny. Yeah. Yo, back up, bitch.
I'm about to be throwing knives in here.
Get in the locker.
And in the original, I do have to say, in the original, she's super annoying.
Well,
In this one, they actually give her like a lot of character depth.
everybody seems, from what I picked up online, to hate the original Ashley.
Oh, everyone hates the original.
Annoying health bar management. She was just kind of...
She died all the time.
all the time.
Sounds bad. I shot her in the head one time in this game and she died. I was like,
Oops.
I'll force her into. In the first one, I forced her into so many dumpsters.
you can't put her in a dumpster in the remake.
No, there should be more hiding spaces for Ashley, though.
Every time there's a battle, there should be an option.
Yeah, I agree. But, whatever. There are so many more sections where you lose Ashley, too, in this remake. You only lose her a couple times. And they are segments where it is a little more action-focused. But in this remake, it's just like, well, Ashley's like, well, I'll hang out here until you want to come back. And it's like, okay, cool.
Like,
I didn't want you around anyway.
Also, are you sure? Because it's like mad spooky up in here. Like,
Yeah. Well, he's got so many guns. Here, hold my grenade launcher.
I do like how...
You know how to use this? Do
you'll figure it out.
I do like how
you know where the safety is?
I'm just kidding. I never turned that on.
Leon's carrying around 8 guns and he won't give a single one to Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty common though on like missions where you have to go rescue somebody. They don't give that person a gun because
they're not
then
trained.
it's just another person.
Yeah, but also if somebody is getting targeted by like zombie monsters, you give them a handgun and say,
I assume she's fired one pistol if she's the president's daughter.
She's very
Don't
capable.
point this at me or you, and you'll be fine.
I'm sure she's taken Hunter's safety.
Hunter Biden.
This is how you clear your search history and delete emails.
Don't talk about the porn parody I'm making about the president's son.
My date with the president's son. Oh, yeah.
Hunter's safety.
Hunter safety course. Hunter safety intercourse.
Oh, and we made it.
Perfect.
We fight the big cheese. He turns into a spina monster and you kill him.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yep. He goes full crazy. You can read from his diaries that he was actually a really good village chief and wanted to help people. He was a good guy. But the Plagas does what it does. We get into the castle, and Luis is very quickly like, oh, yes, I'm here. What the fuck, dude? Like, where have you been? You walked away mid-sentence. You could have helped us. You said you were getting a cure, and now you're in here. You want to meet us further in the castle? I guess it kind of makes sense. He does work there. But you get inside. You're introduced to the zealots, and essentially the new villager enemies.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. I like their little monk robes. I like all the chain flail weapons.
Their shields. The guys with the face masks. You just can't headshot them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Body shots are the best in that scenario. Limbs are half as much damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shotgun's your best friend.
Shotguns will go right through those shields.
Yeah.
You run into a catapult section.
Fuck this
that.
section.
I got
Specifically
stuck.
for Ashley.
Oh, for Ashley, 1,000,000%. It was Ashley getting me killed.
I got killed quite a few times too.
You pick her up, and then a fucking thing just smacks her.
Well, it's the amount of
Leon!
the amount of catapults is the problem,
It's like a
Three of them.
and they kind of can go off in succession. It's not balanced very well.
no. It seems like a constant barrage.
Yes.
You get past that scenario, and then we get to meet who is one of the most well-known characters from RE4, Ramon Salazar.
Love him.
Loved him.
I love that little guy.
Fucking his voice performance is so like
Sickly and weird.
sickly and like
Pompous.
very snaky, very like with a lot of S sounds, kind of like drawn out.
Have you
Leon
watched?
Kennedy, Senor Kennedy.
Have you ever seen like? Have you seen?
You are a bad guy. It's just like everything he says.
Have you seen the original voice actor like clips?
Not the.
They're-
I mean, I've seen the original character. Yeah,
Yeah. Have you watched like all the cutscenes with him?
I've watched a lot of them.
It's very played up. This is like the nuanced version of it.
Okay.
Imagine it times 3.
Yeah.
And then that's what you have for the original. He's just like, oh, Leon Kennedy. Wait, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was actually.
Whoa.
I surprised myself. But yeah, I actually prefer the toned down version. He's a little scarier.
He's got the growing disease, something whatever is inhibited. So to make him look older, they doll him up like an old Victorian style guy
Yeah.
with a wig, and like rouge and lipstick. You
Yeah.
know, you find his rouge later in the game.
You find his whole like dressing room.
A most warm welcome to my castle. Such a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance, Mr. Kennedy.
Who the hell are you?
Me? Oh, please, call me Ramon. And allow me to get straight to the point. I would like you to hand the girl there over to me. Now.
Yeah, fat chance, Ramon. The girl's just fine. With me.
Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy. How novel.
He is the 8th Count of Valdelobos. His father died after he was infected. He heard a servant referring to him as Pulgarcito, which in Spanish means little thumb. Someone called him Little Thumb, which is a really good slander for
That's awesome.
a little dickhead ruler.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then he tortures the fuck out of her. He has 2 Verdugo bodyguards. We'll learn more about them later.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're aliens essentially from the Alien franchise.
Yeah.
The one that you fight anyways, they just have long tail whips and they up in the vents.
It's a very good addition. They're really actually pretty intimidating.
That was terrifying.
I didn't like them in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the scarier parts of the game.
We wind up in the dungeons though, and we find I think what I would say is the scariest, at least image of an enemy you run into when you drop through the floor. You get face to face with blind Wolverine giant.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated this.
His eyes are sewn shut, and he's got the cannibalism guard on him. I'm like, this guy's fucking scary.
And I don't like sneaking in this game.
Yeah,
And then there's just chains hanging from the ceiling.
everywhere.
And you got to kind of bob and weave so you don't touch him.
You can hit the chains and then get out of the way because then you know where he's going.
Well, that's how I killed him.
Yeah.
Because I said, I'm going to just kill this thing.
Well, I saw him right there. I'm like, all right, he's chained up. I'll shoot him now. Immediately breaks out, and I'm like, oh, bad.
I do the thing that I do with every game where I didn't use any ammo besides my handgun for up until about this point.
Whoa.
And then I was like, okay, it's shotgun time.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
This is shotgun season.
This is shotgun season for sure. But I hate that I do that because I always save, if I, with my rifle, my shotgun, I save that ammo because I'm like, there will be a boss battle. And then I beat the boss battle with a handgun. I'm like, fucking son of a bitch.
That's why I always tune up the handgun more quickly than anything else because it's what you have the most ammo for and you use the most.
Yeah.
I wound up using the Red 9 with the...
Did you know they actually adapt to your play style with the ammo that you get?
I could see that.
Really?
Where you get more of certain
Because I was
items.
always pulling between the shotgun and the handgun, but you end up finding more ammo of the things you use that's actually programmed into the game.
I never bought a Magnum, and I almost never found Magnum ammo.
Magnum ammo is supposed to be rare because that is regularly a one-shot regular character kill.
If I had enough money to try all the guns, but you really have to pick your battles your first time through.
Yeah.
It's like if I already put in 100,000 peseta into...
Never get the TMP.
I like the TMP.
I hate the TMP.
To me, it was just my backup. I'm fucked weapon, and I just start spraying.
Yeah.
Just hoping.
It worked on some boss battles anyways.
I would use it in the original to spray some legs to get them all kind of on the ground.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
Ashley decides, well, she doesn't decide. The Plagas takes over and she just ditches you. She puts a knife to her throat. Then you're on the battleman's catapult section again.
Fuck.
That one's
Catapults.
easier.
You know what's better than having all of the enemies call your voice phone thing in the original game is just them not doing that? Can you imagine FaceTiming with Ramon Salazar? Leon! How's it going out there, Leon? Instead, he just got a loudspeaker and he just mocks you. I like that so much more than you're getting voice calls from Sadler. Like, I'm the cult leader. What's up, dude?
Yeah.
I'm totally going to kill you later.
I'll get you, American pig.
Bye.
Take it easy. Or not.
Did he just hang up on me?
Take it hard.
Yeah. There's an Arma Gigante. You started getting into more sections where it's very much more run and gun, not a lot of story developments. You save Ashley, you get into the Grand Hall, and wouldn't you know it, there's a puzzle with 3 fucking missing heads. You start fighting the
Manticore, I believe. Right?
Yep, but you start fighting suits of armor that have been taken over.
Are you talking about the lone Ashley segment?
Well, but before that, you actually fight them when you drop down to a certain head. I remember walking in and thinking, if this was a different game, I'd be fighting those fuckers. And then I fought those.
Yeah.
The original didn't actually have, like, out of their helmets, like, the plague sticking out. I don't think. Yeah.
I don't remember. But I don't even think that was really a huge thing.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
There is, though, an Ashley section where Leon gets hung up. He gets imprisoned.
I always hate when they do this in games.
Tell me about it, Dylan.
Ashley is basically helpless. And it's about not sneaking. It's about running away just enough.
Yeah.
And you just really have to go in a straight line a couple times, if I remember correctly. I mean, like, there's the bobbing and weaving, but you have to go from one place to the next place and then back. And that's pretty much her segment.
It's, you know what's super frustrating is when you're playing as Ashley and you can see a million yellow painted boxes or just like a gun on the wall.
Mm-hmm. You don't do anything about it.
Leon, there's a gun. I can't pick it up.
Or there are swords everywhere.
Oh, I can't open it.
I'm not trained. I don't have the certification.
I'm not certified, Leon. I can't pick it up, he said.
On the first playthrough, this was a lot of tension because you don't have any way to combat it, and I knew that I was going to hate replaying it.
But it slows the gameplay down so
much. For
the
first playthrough, I was like, okay, that was kind of cool. It was tension building. Second time through, I'm going to be pissed.
I hear it's comparable to the Mary Jane sections in the Spider-Man video.
Yeah.
I've been told this by people.
never want to play those again and only played them once. You just made me feel horrible inside thinking about it.
But it's like essentially the same thing. Taking away the power.
Sherry Birkin in Resident Evil 2, I'm like,
exactly.
Fuck, if I have to do that one more time.
Yeah. Or, oh man.
When you're playing as Hunter Biden in this
Metal
game.
Gear Solid 2. No good. There's a whole section. It sucks.
At least when you play as Ellie in The Last of Us Part 1, you're fucking badass already.
That's true.
Leon is saved and then Ashley is promptly taken away. I do like the one moment where she says, I've had enough of these nights. And then she goes on an elevator and there's 10 nights. I was like, as soon as she said that, I knew that was good.
It's cool.
Leon catches up to her in the throne room and Ramon says, Leon Kennedy. Give me a Leon impression, Dylan. Yours is better.
What is it? Bingo night?
No, not a Leon. Give me a Ramon impression.
Leon Kennedy.
That's good.
It's good. So good to see you.
What else would he say?
I'm not little. I'm just small boned. The election was stolen. It was a protest, Leon. It wasn't an insurrection. False flags. They were secretly the feds, don't you know?
I saw it on the internet, Leon Kennedy. You get thrown down a fucking well.
Let's go, Brandon.
You will fall to your death. I could shoot you here, but no. You're kind of Bond villaining right now.
Yeah.
You catch a chain, fall 10 stories, don't die. You fight
Pretty dope, though.
Pretty dope. Pretty dope, though.
Pretty dope, though.
It is cool. It is cool.
It's a cool segment. And honestly, the way he falls almost seems like he did know kind of what he was doing. So, I don't know. I believe it.
You wind up in an underground lab as things happen. You find a Verdugo.
And then I'm scared again.
The Verdugo's horrifying. As soon as I saw a button that shot frozen nitrogen somewhere, I was like, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
The Verdugo, oh my God.
Easily the scariest portion of the game.
Yeah. And then figuring out just how to do it.
Yeah.
To time it out.
And then when you miss, and then you can't go, like, there's one section where it's like in a hallway going into a little square room.
Right.
And if you miss and he gets in the room with you, you're stuck for a minute.
Yeah.
Until that stops spraying. And it's just pure terror.
Well, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to run away. And then you get to the elevator, and it's like at floor 6 of like, needs to get all the way down to -4. And you're like,
I'm in danger.
This is not good for me.
Did you kill it?
I killed it.
Nope.
Nope.
Those situations, I never know if they're killable. I guess they generally are, but
it is killable. I've killed it.
I just don't want to waste ammo, and I know I can run around and avoid it enough. I have enough knife health.
I put a lot of damage on this thing, and it didn't die. And then I started to think, like, maybe it's not killable. And I was getting low on health because he was whooping my ass.
Oh, he whoops ass. His one tentacle swipe can, like, take out half of your health.
He didn't kill me, but I came, like, that close to dying. So I just ran away.
Yeah, I didn't die from him, surprisingly.
I do like that you have the ability to run away from him. It makes the game seem a little
the
more
running
realistic.
in this is so manageable because you can look behind you.
And also,
who would have thought that would have been a necessary function for survival?
Well,
every time I'm running from something, even if there's 30 things chasing me, I will stop and look at yellow painted boxes and just stab them quick and just got it. Get caught up pretty quick. You run into Luis, and he is a good guy.
At the end of the day,
he's trying to help out. There's a sick minecart sequence, which it just goes balls to the wall, over the top, like Fast and the Furious with it. It's like, we're going to start jumping minecarts. We're going to, the chainsaw dude has his own minecart.
And I was just like, oh, I just remember being like, oh, yeah, I've seen Temple of Doom.
I was like, yeah, I got this. I've played Donkey Kong.
Been here.
Yep.
Oh, gotta shoot that, because every time you can shoot the track, I just I'm gonna shoot it. I know I need to.
Yep.
I missed the end though. In Kong.
Kong the movie?
No, the end.
Oh, you mean
yeah.
So you just purposely die, so you go back to get all of the letters.
Yeah, so I had to go back and I had to get the end. I didn't exactly. That was playing off of a joke, and you guys.
I got it. I caught up.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me a minute, but I got there.
I had to do a second run to catch up to your jokes.
I love how Leon can make the whole minecart jump with him.
Yeah, that takes a lot of core strength.
Yeah, it does.
I did not know when you run into El Gigante, an armored El Gigante.
Love it. You can put him in the pit.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Well, at the end of the battle, I saw this button. It says open to this. I was like, The giant scents are great that they're standing on.
All you have to do is stun him, and
they have to get stunned first, but then you can just drop.
You do have to take out some of his health first.
Yeah, because I immediately went for the button.
Yep.
Because I was like, yeah, that'll do something.
You have to essentially trap him.
You're like, no, you have to. Yeah, Louise says something to you like, that's not going to work, because as soon as you hit the floor, they just fucking fade back.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
I like that.
There used to be 3 of us.
Yeah.
Last guy came in here, burnt 1. We know that trick. That's what I'm thinking they're thinking.
We get after that, we get introduced to Krauser, who just shows up, and it's like this huge character reveal. We know who the fuck it is, and we've never heard the name Krauser before. I think
I used to have a Krauser action figure.
Did you fucking really?
Yes, I did. I used to have a Krauser action figure, and it was the one where it was like the full blade arm with the eye on it.
Yeah,
it was fucking cool. I wish I still had it, and I think I might actually have it at my house.
This was the battle that taught me again about parrying.
If I do have
you
it,
have to parry 8 times in a row. I was like, I love this, because
it used to be just a cutscene. Well, it used to be a
QTE.
I've been so trained in most games I play recently to have a iframes and dodge function that parrying, my brain wasn't ready to start parrying, and this taught me. I'm like, oh fuck, I can be parrying almost everything that attacks me.
And if you've gotten okay at it, this fight is so easy.
Yeah.
I was not okay with it yet, but I got there quick after this, because oh yeah, fuck, I can be doing that.
He hit me a couple times, but I remember thinking canonically, Leon has surpassed the master. It made me feel really cool.
Yeah.
I always try to put things in perspective of the story, with how much I fuck up or if I die or something. I always try to make it right so my brain makes sense. But I loved this fight, because I remember it was a QTE, and this was actually, it felt like it took skill.
And it was way more like John Woo. It was kind of it was like kung fu weirdness. It didn't make sense. There were flipping knives, and they were blocking each other. And
there's sections where they're not fighting. They're just showboating. And they're like,
there is, there's quite a bit of that.
Rookie.
A lot of duck.
My name's Leon.
A lot of Matrix shots.
Yeah.
Yes. Very Resident Evil 6.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Krauser was like, you are just a knockoff Wesker to me, was my first thought.
Well,
He gets redemption in the end.
he's not really. He's more just a paramilitary guy who.
obsessed with strength.
Yeah.
Strength. When at the end when he's like, I trained you well. I was like, okay. Bye.
Cool. What did it get you?
Got you dead, homie.
Fuck you. You get back up to the top. You hear Ada, who just knows everything. She's like, oh, she's going to the clock tower. You can backtrack here and go to the throne room of Ramon Salazar.
I did.
And you can sit in his throne.
Really? I didn't do that.
There's 2 chickens in the room that'll start laying eggs.
No shit.
You can pick up those eggs. You can throw them at his portrait. You get like a special prize from the merchant for like egging the portrait of Ramon, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's
I didn't do
awesome.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I was watching his secrets, but yeah, you can egg that. Otherwise, you head towards the clock tower, like you mentioned, Dylan. There's no
I like the clock tower.
giant walking statue though.
Yeah, the statue chases you, and he's laughing the entire time.
Sounds so cool.
It's kind of dope, but then it's literally just like
Great gameplay. Great gameplay.
But as it goes, it's kind of breaking apart, and I kind of like it. It's like they're building the Statue of Liberty. Like there's all the scaffolding that you have to go up, and each section, like the arm has like flamethrowers, and I'm like, this is kind of more considerate, and it also makes more sense because he must have been building this for a while because that scaffolding was old as shit. So this must have been like his
Passion project.
his magnum opus of whatever the hell was going through his head.
Huge, Leon. That was a terrible impression. Leon, I'm going to be so big.
I learned this from The Secret.
Senor Kennedy,
I said I want to be big.
I'm going to be made out of bronze.
Well, in the original, he's like he's almost like a cement or something. Like it's like it looks like him. It's carved, but it's definitely not like a really durable.
Yeah, and I find it hard to believe that there was a giant rock there that they could just mount Rushmore.
I also don't believe that the only thing that thing could do is walk in a straight line.
Was it
anyway.
controlled by Plagas?
No,
It was just a mechanical robot.
it was just a mechanical robot. Yeah.
bizarre. You fight Ramon, though.
As far as I know,
Now, did you all know in this boss fight with Ramon Salazar, you can use the golden chicken egg?
no.
No, I think I used mine. I think I sold it.
If you have the golden chicken egg and you throw it and hit him, like hit his main little body, it does 70% of his health.
Are you fucking with me?
No.
Well, New Game Plus, if I ever play it, I'll lock that one away.
Yep.
Why? Is it just like an ego thing?
It is. I think it is because
It's got to be like
egg
you
on
really
his
take
face
him out.
really hurts him.
So that would make sense paired with like the egging the portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you throw the golden egg at him, that's 70%. Then you call him short, and he just dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His ego just dies.
Wow, 30%
70.
health. Well,
70.
I know, but drop to 30%.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I didn't know.
Imagine if you missed that throw, though.
that. Well, there are points where he stands oddly still in that fight, which is really strange, but because he's kind of looking at you with that eye.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I like about the remake is that it's a little more extensive. It's less of kind of like an arcade shooter. There's more stuff going on. The amount of items you can get that you can slot gems into actually makes it feel like super customizable. You can absolutely max out your shit if you're patient enough and if you found the right stuff because there's more treasures as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels a lot more open with the ability to backtrack and go collect the different collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
And you get different perks for the amount that you slot. So, like, if you get, like, 3 of the same color or 4 of the 2 and 2, they're worth more. I really liked that.
There's something kind of fun and weird to do.
Yeah.
Because I actually like the menus in this. I don't think that's super controversial to say, but everything worked extremely well. The maps were great. And
Very
everything
polished.
was easy. It was easy to interpret. The first one had maps that were vague, to say the least. But this almost felt like a more high-tech version of pretty much everything.
It's a very polished game. It looks very pretty. It plays very smoothly. And it is kind of like an epic action, slightly horror movie. It's like definitely my type of game. Single player, fucking story driven, big set pieces and cinematics.
What's one of your favorite recent horror movies?
Recent horror movies? Barbarian, first one that comes to mind.
So let's imagine Barbarian. You are having this amazing crescendo of horror and it's going so well. And then the last half an hour, for no reason, takes place in a factory or like an island.
Well, Barbarian is almost exactly that. You have this excellent crescendo of horror, and then you end in a different location that's not as scary.
It works a little more in Barbarian.
Yes,
The point I was trying to get at is every Resident Evil game, to me, it just shoots itself in the foot where it goes into the most boring location.
Yeah.
It turns into key cards, and it turns into
Resident Evil 2. Oh my god.
2 Remake Village. The tanker is better than some, but not great.
Well, at least
And that's in 7. In 8, when you go into the factory with Heisenberg,
that one's actually cool though because it's all steampunky.
even then, it's less interesting than the rest of the game.
I guess I enjoyed my time in that specific location.
I enjoyed it less though than Haunted Doll Mansion with Baby,
Way better.
Fish Monster in the water,
That is
Moreau. It's the end of every Resident Evil game just goes to its least interesting location and its most tedious gameplay.
Yeah.
Because we go to the island next, and this is when I phoned in my combat. I did not try and fight. I just ran to hit button, go to the door. I didn't have time for this.
Yeah, I by this point in the game, I was getting kind of tired because I remember this from the original and it just being like, oh, they just send waves. I'm tired of fighting waves of enemies.
Ooh, look, it's 10 guys with pig heads now.
Yeah.
I was having a fucking blast.
You loved it.
I loved it. I really liked the combat, and I was pretty good at it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't play it on its harder difficulty the first time through because I watched a Jakey video.
Sure.
Okay.
Jakey. Thank you, Jakey, because he told me the game was hard before I started playing it. Because I would have played on hard and just hated my
Because
life.
they even tease you in the opening. For hard, it says for people that have played Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, and
And it's like,
Can't be
no.
true.
It's like, no, that's not right.
Jakey told me not to, so I didn't. And
Yeah. I always play on normal no matter what, just to get like the baseline.
Yeah, I want to have the standard experience before I fuck around.
What the developers intended.
yes.
Everything except Halo, which I start on heroic. Everything else, it's always normal.
Yeah.
I'm getting back. I'm now transitioning to that point in my life where I am just playing normal. But part of me always wants to just crank the difficulty.
Certain games don't. It's just like if the difficulty slider is just bosses and enemies have more health, that's not a difficulty slider to me. That is a punishment slider.
Their AI has to get better.
Yeah.
Well, once we got
it
to
has to
the
change the gameplay somehow.
Yeah.
once we got to the island, I was still having a lot of fun. I also didn't I beat this game in like 5 or 6 days, so I kind of just steamrolled it.
Yeah.
Like I'd go to work, I'd come home, I'd play.
Oh yeah, I've been depressed too.
Yeah. Summertime wasn't here yet.
No, I know. Believe me. No, there are definitely days where I come home and I'm just like, I'm not doing nothing.
The island is pretty generic. A lot of the locations, in my opinion, they
There's
introduce
a lot of turrets.
auto
There's
turrets,
auto
little-
turrets where you have to disable them and come back around and then go around. And I found that annoying.
You get introduced to a new enemy, the Regenerator.
Hate him.
Probably the biggest jump scare for me in the game, though, when you're walking in the hallway and there is a giant, like, chubby, super white, pale, naked thing run by.
Yeah.
And he goes into a room, a dead end, and it's not there. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I walked in that room like, ooh, I know you're in here. And it wasn't. And
Why the fuck is there a Godskin apostle in here?
it's the Godskin apostles of God. Yeah. Upgrade your key card 3 times, fucking assholes.
Hate it.
I like the computer puzzle, though, the little spot where you have to, like,
That's fine.
route the energy. I was, like, just getting Inscription flashbacks there.
Yeah.
Mind that,
I mean,
but-
yeah, the game is getting tedious at this point, but I still think it's polished enough to where you still can have a good time playing it and killing everything.
I love, though, let's imagine 10 murderers in your house, and you run to your computer and you start playing Pipe Dream, and they're like, wait,
Hold on.
give him a second. He's in the middle of a puzzle.
He's doing real good. Look at that.
Wow.
He's just looking over your shoulder. Oh my god, is that
Try
Nintendo?
number 2.
Yeah.
Is that a Nintendo? Can I play?
And then as soon as the console switched off, everyone just goes back to murder mode. Yeah.
I mean, it has to happen. It would be scary if there was a risk.
If it was an ultra simple puzzle and they were right behind you, like in BioShock, when you have to rewrite the goo for the
Oh, I love those puzzles.
hacking.
yeah, like if it was just like hacking that and you know something's around the corner, that'd be great.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
The pressure would be intense. You find out that to the last upgrade, the thing is locked with a wrench, and you read on a file like, yeah, one of those fuckers ate a wrench. You're like, this is not good for me. But you get a bioscope where you can see, if you have a gun that you can attach it to, you can see inside of them.
Well, the thermal, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, it's a thermal.
I think they called it a bioscope.
A bioscope.
There's
it
two
was
different
a thermal because
there's two different scopes that can do it.
So in the original, I think it was a thermal scope because what happens is you can see it changing its position within the body of the
It moves
regenerator.
around in the body.
Yeah, it does.
Weird.
Yeah, which is actually something I was expecting when with this it was a little more simple. You just had to know exactly where to hit.
Yeah. Once you get the thermal scope, it's kind of game over, or the bioscope, it's kind of game over for those guys. Especially when you put it on that really nice rifle.
Yeah, the white semi-automatic
one?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's nice.
That one with that's one of the
3
best
shots.
weapons you can have in the game.
Yeah,
I
3
will-
shots and that thing was down.
I will
Yeah.
open every battle with some long distance sniping beforehand.
Yeah.
Smart though.
You do the sniping, then you switch to the handgun for the mid range, and then if you get backed in a corner,
I wanted the
Guys,
bolt,
we could be soldiers.
I wanted the I wanted the bolt thrower to be more of a thing. I bought the bolt thrower and it sucked.
It sucked.
I tried to use it.
Reusable ammo and it's quiet, so you can shoot it and still maintain your hidden nature if you can kill them. But I hated it.
I feel like you really got to level it up for it to really be of any use.
I chunked that thing as far as it could go.
Is it good?
No, it's never good.
I put it away at the beginning of the game, and then I brought it back out like in the castle somewhere, and then I put it away again. I was like,
I will say some of like the types of ammo are actually pretty good, but for the most part, not really.
the most important ammo you will get in this game is a flashbang grenade.
Yes. 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I crafted those over incendiary or even just like frag.
I didn't use a lot of flashbangs.
The head poppers.
The head popper's instant kill,
Instant
which is
kill.
nice.
Yep.
If there's a whole group of them,
Yeah.
it's just like, why even waste your ammo?
The monks, when you get a bunch of them, they all stun, and then you just shotgun blast your way out of there. Like, it is super useful.
You know what I miss? The roundhouse kick.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping for that.
I do like it when he does like a pile drive, not a pile driver, suplex.
Yeah, the German suplex.
You just fucking like boom.
Well, the suplex is okay, but that roundhouse kick used to like send enemies off. Like, blam! Ooh, so good.
Felt good.
It was like very visceral.
It was super satisfying.
yeah.
I also remember thinking that even as a kid, I'm like, that is totally out of left field. Like,
know.
I'm stabbing and shooting dudes, and then all of a sudden I'm fucking Anderson Silva in here.
Yeah.
There's giant walking robots. I think anything kind of goes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I draw the line at a roundhouse.
There was giant walking robots, and people in Resident Evil 6 are like, punching a boulder does not make sense.
I love it though.
Well, that's when people are drawing the line. It's like, there's been some pretty wonky shit.
I always say like hashtag Japanese, hashtag like, yeah, it's going to happen.
We have a sick crane fight where Ashley has a crane, and she says, I'm in college. Like, okay, you can wield a crane very well.
Yeah.
As my crane classes in college went very good.
I
so.
didn't take that.
I got to
didn't-
see.
Yeah.
You did generals. I did crane.
Yeah. I did. Was it a gen ed?
Yeah.
Damn.
You missed out.
SDSU had it.
Oh, that's why you worked at the airport.
Then we get
Where
to,
they let me tow planes.
Yep.
and then we have a Krauser fight where Krauser is just a ghost. He pops in, does a few quick stabs, you shoot him, and he runs away a bunch and just talks shit. I get it. I didn't love it, but
He's being a coward.
yeah, just like try and get through all my traps while I sneak around. It's like, this is not a fair fight. This is bullshit.
And you know it, pussy.
He goes full Wesker, where he just grows 2 like big monster arms. You fight him, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a personal triumph for Leon to beat his former mentor.
Like these characters, I just do not care.
Dylan, it's important. It's important, man.
Okay. Oh.
Sadler, though, has stolen Ashley. Now, we've had visions of Sadler. We've briefly seen him before. But this is when Sadler gets face to face with you and tries to make Ashley shoot you.
Oh.
And she shoots
Does he go off on an anti-America tangent?
America.
No, in the first one, he's like,
one.
you all want to be the police of the world, but there's nothing you can do to stop me.
He doesn't.
No.
I don't remember hearing that.
In the first one, he does.
The reason Ashley is stolen is like a Manchurian Candidate scenario where they want her to infiltrate and
She will be able to infect people at a high rate.
Hunter
high
Biden
level.
Hunter Biden can go anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Much like Ashley Graham.
They should have gotten Chet Hanks.
Yeah. Chet Hanks. He just.
Do you know about Chet Hanks?
No.
He's like Tom Hanks' doofus son. He speaks in a Jamaican patois.
Yeah.
I like that.
And he's a real dum-dum.
He did a lot of interviews with Channel 5 News, which used to be All Gas, No Brakes.
Oh,
This is terrifying, guys.
I like
I've never
All
heard of
Gas, No
this.
Breaks,
Yeah. But he's actually. Chet Hanks is a character. He's a character.
You love him.
I do kind of like him.
I hate him.
He's more than a Jamaican accent, man. He's like an onion.
I'm autistic
Chet Hanks
and I
is
see
mo-
people as very basic traits. That's how I categorize.
Just a second, I'm gonna write Chet Hanks for the Doggies After Dark. Is more than a Jamaican accent. Okay.
All right, let's keep moving.
Krauser, you beat the fuck out of him.
I really like the character design for Sadler. I think he looks real scary.
Way better than the original.
Yes. When he finally takes his hood down, I'm like, ooh, you ugly.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Who's your barber?
Yeah. Fire your barber.
He seems more intimidating than what I saw from the scenes of the original. He can control people from a very big distance in this game, where in the original he seemed like he kind of had to be closer.
Well, he's got like the Queen Plagas or something.
He's got the dominant Plagas, just the most of it or whatever, but he is the big bad, the leader of Los Illuminados, bioweapons research chief, and we learn more about him here. We get to learn all about his ancestors through these little gravestones. Did you guys see who his like oldest ancestor is? Adam Sadler. I was like, Tally woohoo! I immediately just read it as Adam Sandler. Like, what? Read that one again.
No, I didn't take the time to read any of that bullshit. I was ready to be done.
I was in murder mode. I was killing everything at this point. I don't think I stopped to read shit.
I mean, if the president's daughter is stolen and you're just like picking up diaries and you're like reading the pages, like, the village chief seems nice.
Imagine us as the Expendables and we're in like the plot of a movie and Brad's like reading everything. He's like, this is pretty interesting. And I'm like, I am so tired of this shit. Let's just get this done. And
We got 2
Tyler's
minutes.
just like, blam, 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 blam.
We have 2 minutes, Brad. I'm just like, wait a second. Do you guys know Rocky Road ice cream was invented in the 1600s?
And I'm like, what? I can't hear shit. I fired this gun so many times close to my ear, I'm basically dead.
Sometimes I fire it next to my ear.
And then Dylan shoots me in the head and he goes, someone got him.
It's like, whoops.
I thought we turned friendly fire off. Dylan, this is real life.
And I said, well, let's just go. Don't question it. Let's just go.
With the help of Ada Wong, we get Ashley. We have this horrible sequence where we're being plagused on the inside, but we get to Luis's lab and laser the fuck out of that plagus out of her.
I thought it was a really nice cinematic moment. I really like the way that this played out.
Have you guys played the Dead Space series?
Yes.
Have you played 2?
Is that the one with the needle eye?
Does the same thing
Yeah.
happen? Does the same thing happen in Dead Space 2?
Yeah. Except it's way worse because
Oh
you
my
have
God.
to. There's a section where you have to guide a needle into your eye.
But you have to hit the pupil and the eye keeps like moving around.
I like
and if
that.
you stab it's instant kill, right? If you
Yeah,
miss
it's
the
instant
pupil.
kill, yeah.
And then when you get it, it feels like Kobe hitting
I
hitting a
died
deep
so many
3.
times.
Yeah. But once you finally get it, you're like, fucking sunk it. And then he screams and it's like the camera is up in it.
And
Dead
there's a
Space
split of
sounds pretty
blood.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead Space is great. The remake was fantastic.
Yeah.
The similar sequence also happens in Iron Man VR, which I don't think y'all played.
No.
It's really bad.
Oh, I played it for probably 5 minutes, and I said, "Oh, I don't like this. It's 3D balloon fight. Great."
That's a good way to put it. It makes perfect sense. We something that also happens though is we run into this sequence where it's a fuck ton of enemies, and this beautiful hero that you didn't know you loved, that is somehow the greatest character in Resident Evil, and no one knows anything about. Chopper pilot Mike just shows up. He's like, "Hey, I'm Mike," and just starts shooting the fuck out of everything. I looked it up. No one knows anything about him. He was just sent by Harrigan. He's just Mike.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
I like it.
I love Mike so much. He's just
Mike's just good at his job.
shows up, just talks mad shit, shoots everybody.
If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Oh, boy.
Mike dies.
If you do what you love, you end up dead.
R.I.P. Mike.
Yeah, Mike is dead.
R.I.P. Mike.
We get to the last merchant stop, and this is the final boss, Sadler. Mm-hmm. I bought a rocket launcher and didn't fight him.
Yeah.
I had that rocket launcher for 80,000 peseta, and that's an instant kill, so I didn't fight it.
Oh, I fought him.
Well, you shoot a bunch of eyeballs like every other fucking boss in these games, right?
I know. I thought, you just blow up the eyeballs, and
He's not a hard fight.
he's really not. He's
I
probably
thought-
the easiest in the
I fought
next to the
Who'd you say is the toughest?
I think Luis gave me the biggest.
Not Luis. Luis is your friend.
Salazar.
Salazar.
Ramon was the toughest for me,
yeah.
but I didn't fight the final one.
I didn't find the bosses in this to be all that challenging.
Ramon was the only one that I died for like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, I think Ramon gave me the biggest struggle too.
Ramon, I did the first try. Don't know how I did it. But
Dylan Hoff, you're my friend. Don't throw an egg.
I'd probably be friends with him. I'm like, do you drink beer? Can you? Does that hurt the little
I'm
buggies?
20 years old. I'm not old enough.
He's way older than that.
He's 20.
Oh, he's really 20? I thought he was living a long
Dude,
time.
he's got some city miles on him. He's looking rough.
He's only 20 years old. I'm like 90%.
I don't buy that.
Okay, so I was right about the
I
timeline then.
exfoliate.
Yeah, no, you're 55.
Yeah. I don't know.
I am 5'10", 200 pounds, self-reported.
It's something I really like about this game. The situations and the environment provide the most difficulty. There are sections where it actually feels more difficult. I prefer that over boss battles once in a while, and I found it refreshing with this, but I don't know. I didn't really have any. The Elegante the first time I did have trouble with, but
As soon as you see a giant snot bubble forming on his back, which
Yeah.
looks like
then you slash it. In the first one, literally, Leon jumps onto his back and just starts slashing with his knife as fast as you can. It's a QTE.
Yeah. And it looks ridiculous.
He should just get a sword with how much he uses his knife. If he just had like a nice short sword instead of the knife to pull up.
He could just gouge it in and it would stick.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's fine.
I like that he just gets like kitchen knives for this though too.
Yeah. It's true.
I ran through a bunch of butter knives.
Sadler's got a lot of eyeballs. You can kill him the slow way. Either way, you kill him. And Ada Wong throws another rocket launcher or a rocket launcher at you and you just shoot it.
Yep.
Ada gets in a helicopter and says, bye.
Well,
she should leave, and she throws you a little jet ski key.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And you catch it, too.
Yep.
Which is, if anybody's ever thrown keys at you,
And you catch it.
you feel awesome.
You both feel really good about it.
Yep. But from the distance she's at and how aerodynamic a jet ski key is, it's like a boat key.
We don't know how heavy the little attachment is. Like a little bear or something.
It's not heavy.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It can't be.
We don't know.
But that's impressive. I remember thinking that. I was like, that catch is probably the most impressive thing he's done in this entire game.
Ada could just also just drop us off. Like, just kick us out of the boat at the next island.
She's got like another mission going on somewhere where she's got to fuck over somebody else and save them also, kind of.
Ada leaves with the dominant Plaga sample that Luis was trying to get to her. She departs on the helicopter. You and Ashley run to a jet ski. The enemies are all useless because they don't have their dominant leader. You get on the jet ski, and it turns into Halo 3 almost, where you're just fucking dodging and dipping and diving. And
While the cave is collapsing upon you.
you can do backflips on your jet ski and like jet ski like 360s in the air.
Jet moto, baby.
You can jet moto that shit.
Nice.
And you get out, and she's like, we should be a team and like hang out and be friends. And Leon's like, I gotta go. Bye.
He's the one character in all of Resident Evil who's just so sexless that he's
super sexual. I mean, he makes a lot of comments.
horny.
Because at the end of the original OG 4,
He kind of implies like
to Harrigan, he's like, you and I should go on a date or something afterwards. And she's like, we're still working. He's like, story of my life.
yeah,
He I don't know. I think he's just way too into Ada.
yeah. I think he's hung up. It's like Batman and Catwoman.
I got a girlfriend. She works for another agency.
Yeah.
Or in
wouldn't
between
know her.
missions, he just goes to Bangkok and visits a shit ton of brothels and gets it all out of his system so that he can go into every mission with a clear mind.
Resident Evil 4.5 Bangkok.
Yeah.
There's some sort of mutation in here. I like Leon.
I like him. I find him likable. If there's a main character of a game that I really hate, you played a little bit of like Atomic Hearts, right?
Yikes. I played
main
like 2
character-
hours of that.
That main character is the worst.
Let's talk about Resident Evil characters, though. Which one is, like, of the main characters do you find, like, the least likable?
Least likable.
Chris Redfield?
I liked Chris.
He's just kind of a meathead, although he
Yeah.
does have a few good comments about how America is falling apart because of money.
Leon
cool,
was
though.
always my favorite because A4 was one of the first ones I played. Plus, he's kind of a little emo boy, and I was like, this guy definitely listens to My Chemical Romance.
He's just brooding.
He's got a tattoo just like me.
Yeah, I was like, I can relate.
And Claire and Jill are great.
Claire's cool, especially in the remake. Claire is like awesome.
If anything, Jill might be a little boring personality-wise.
She's a little boring, but that ass though.
Also, Barry,
Barry is hard to like. I think.
that bulge, who's got a camel hump for days.
Camel hump? That's not what you call that.
Camel.
It's a moose knuckle.
All I know is he's stacked.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
I like his big testy mountains.
There you go. Subtle, Dylan, subtle.
Thank you.
The game is over. Ada is talking with Wesker. Wesker finally makes a glorious appearance, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I plan on killing fucking billions of people."
And then Ada's like, do I have morals?
And she's like, "Okay, millions would have been fine, but billions, we gotta stop." I don't know why she draws the line there, but she says, "Turn this chopper around." Seems like it's kind of leading towards 5. I guess there's Wesker's like new wife on fucking his desk or something.
Oh.
Whatever. End game, you unlock some things. The professional difficulty. They call it the professional difficulty because Leon was a little bit modeled after Leon the Professional.
Yeah,
That's
The
cool.
film. And that's also why one of the guns is called the Matilda that you can get.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, it's analogous to Lolita, a story about a man who falls in love with a little girl.
Ashley Graham. Or Ramon Salazar, depending on how you feel about the game.
Yeah, true.
Well, then it's not illegal.
Leon Kennedy, do you like Netflix?
Let's Netflix and chill.
I've heard this is a good show.
New Game Plus is unlocked. Bring all your shit, unlockable weapons, costumes.
You can finally go back and shoot all those blue medallions.
I usually, if I got the map, I would go back and shoot them as I was going if I could.
Same.
I tried, some of them I missed, and sometimes I got really tired of looking, and I was just like, okay, well, I'll eventually replay this. I'm like, even if it's like a year from now, I'm going to replay this because I think it's actually that good in that way. I think
It was
works.
my game of the year till I played Lone Survivor,
Yeah, I think you're yeah.
and now Jedi Lone Survivor is still my game of the year right now as it stands.
I've got something to
think-
say in Doggies After Dark if you are all interested in subscribing to our Patreon.
Is it about Cal Kestis?
It's about my game of the year.
What game is it?
You can't know yet.
Let's rank this puppy.
Yes, let's do it.
Resident Evil 4 Remake or Doom 2016.
That is a really tough one.
I gotta go Resident Evil 4.
I'm gonna give it to Doom.
Doom.
Ooh, wow.
Doom 2016 is a fucking
That is a
game,
phenomenal video game.
Yeah.
That is what I need. Sometimes I got the bloodlust and I've got to go. I've just got to do it.
man. Resident Evil 4 Remake or Resident Evil 7.
7.
4.
7.
Damn. Yeah.
7's so good.
7 is like the
I
epitome
think
of what I want in a survival
Village
horror.
is my favorite Resident Evil game by far.
Yes,
it is perfect.
I fully agree.
And I like
I like-
first person is where I'm at.
See, first person for
because you're in the headspace. It's more horror.
It took me a while to wrap my head around that.
If there was a first person DLC of 4 Remake, we could talk.
well, in
but
the Oculus, it is
only for not for the remake, for the
old one. Yeah. But I hear that's fun.
Dredge or Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, 4.
remake. Yeah.
Okay. We got it. It's number 28.
Not bad.
yeah.
Hard to beat Doom.
26, Resident Evil 2 Remake. 27, Resident Evil 7. 28, Resident Evil 4 Remake. So it's those Resident Evil games kind of like to sit right around there.
Okay.
Village, though, is at number 11.
That's, yeah.
Just above Celeste and just behind Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night is
Number 10.
Nice.
I love that.
Our current top 10, going from 10 down to 1. Symphony of the Night, Hollow Knight, Persona 5, Nier Automata, Pokemon Red/Blue, What Remains of Edith Finch, Hades, Death Stranding, Kentucky Route Zero, and number 1 we have Bloodborne still.
We are all over the place with this list. It's nice, it's cool, but it's also like, wow. That's pretty.
The list is looking good. Number 47, Kingdom Hearts.
Always will be, unless we play something really bad, and I don't think we're actively going to choose to do. Don't.
I
tell me.
would play the Gollum game.
I would.
I would. I
But
mean,
do we really want to dethrone Kingdom Hearts?
I think it might be Kingdom Hearts.
Oh no.
On the next Hair of the Dogcast, the Elven Dogs are heading to Far Missoula to acquire the Rune of Death. The Popcorn Dogs will be discussing Season 1 of House of the Dragon. For our Patreon members, however, Popcorn Dogs will be ranking the Tarantino filmography next week.
Hell yeah.
And the Elden Dogs are... We're ahead of Far Missoula by a bit.
Yeah.
We exist because of people like you, so thanks for listening. If you have any questions or thoughts about anything at all, if you have any Resident Evil feelings you want us to share, we'd love to share them. Reach out to us on Instagram at Hair of the Dogcast or on Twitter at Hot Dogcast. Email us at hairofthedogcast@gmail.com for access to bonus episodes, the Doggies After Dark After Show, all of the awesome Discord content, all of the conversations we have. Check out patreon.com/hairofthedogcast. Executive producers Ryan Christian, Kip Kipper, Brian Ward, Jordan Hoff, and Phil Wright. I'm going to do a quick look at our Discord to see if we have any comments about Resident Evil 4 Remake that I wanted to make sure gets mentioned. I don't know if we have a lot.
We're going to have to make another channel just for best butts.
Kip says, I haven't played the remake yet, but from the footage I've seen, Salazar doesn't wear his hat anymore. Thoughts?
He does not. It doesn't matter. He had that weird Napoleonic hat, like the tri-corner.
Yeah, that's
which
right,
is-
he did.
It's cool, but it's also, I don't know, it's maybe they got rid of it because they wanted to show off his hair.
Well, RV Gamer, famous Resident Evil Files guy for the
true.
podcast, says, haven't played it either, but that's blasphemy.
Yeah, I don't know.
How else are we supposed to know he's a little Napoleon man boy?
By his stature.
Yeah.
Napoleon wasn't even short. It was English propaganda that made him seem
Yeah.
short. He was average height.
He was average height.
For the time.
Yeah.
Yes, but that doesn't make him now.
No,
Everyone was short then.
yeah.
So he was a short among the shorts.
So he was
He was
average
what?
height,
He was like 5'6".
and the average height was like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, pretty good game. It's not my favorite game. I preferred 2 Remake. I preferred 7. I preferred 8. But it's still a great game.
This one is the best out of the remakes.
Okay. I preferred 2.
I would agree.
2 is great
2 was fun. I
for
really like
several reasons, but
this
it
one's
all-
just so nostalgic for me too.
I don't have the nostalgic itch.
Yeah.
And you know, it's to me maybe it's like whoever your first Doctor Who is probably going to be your favorite Doctor.
right.
I love Village. But I experienced Village before this, and they are very similar in nature.
Yeah, it's
So-
true. Yeah,
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
play it.